practicing medicine while traveling through Douluo, but a goddess secretly eavesdrops on my inner thoughts. Greetings, fellow multiversal adventurers. It's an honor to have you back in this saga that has us all hooked. Official channel statement: this story is 100% epic fiction. So please don't attempt real magic, the results aren't guaranteed and insurance won't cover it. The rights to this masterpiece belong entirely to its brilliant original author. We are just a barge sharing it with you. Do you want to keep being part of this amazing community? Join our ninja army of subscribers on YouTube and give this content a like. And for true fans, our Patreon has exclusive ninjutsu waiting for you. Chapter 26. ? I can prove that what Long Xiaoyao said is true. In order to get me, Tang Hao and Tang Xiao did not hesitate to do the dirty work for me and also deceived me. Fortunately, Long Xiaoyao exposed it and I was not deceived by them. Tang Hao and Tang Xiao became angry because of this. They wanted to kill Long Xiaoyao and then take me back to Haoshan sect, but Tang Hao and Tang Xiao didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao was much stronger than them, and they were beaten away by Long Xiaoyao. There are villagers who witnessed everything and they can all testify. At this moment, Ah Yin said loudly and very seriously. It's okay for these people to slander her, but she doesn't allow these people to slander Long Xiaoyao. Is what she said true? It's all so detailed, it should be true. Then Tang Hao and Tang Xiao are too abominable. They actually do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. When Bibi Dong and others heard Ah Yin's words and saw Ah Yin's appearance, they all felt that Ah Yin's words were credible, and they all despised Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. Although the people of the Haoshan sect and the Min clan didn't say anything, they were all murmuring in their hearts, and they were a little suspicious of Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. Master and Tang Xiao can't be that kind of people. You must be lying. This must be the wording you discussed in advance. The leader of the Min clan still didn't believe Ah Yin's words. He believed in the character of Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, and believed in the senior leaders of the Haoshan sect. What a stupid, loyal and pitiful guy. Sooner or later, he will be betrayed by Haoshan sect, but he is still so loyal to Haoshan sect. Long Xiaoyao felt that the clan leaders of the Min clan were a bit pitiful, and felt unworthy of them. They were so loyal, but were ruthlessly abandoned by the Haoshan sect in the future. Really? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and nodded. They both felt that the senior officials of Haoshan sect were not good people. Whether what we are saying is true or false, wouldn't you know if you asked those three old guys? They must know the truth of the matter. Long Xiaoyao looked at the great elder, the sixth elder and the seventh elder and said, but in order to find a high-sounding reason to kill me, capture Ah Yin and bring it back to Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. They will not tell the truth. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao showed another evil smile and said with a smile, this kid, isn't he afraid that we will reveal that Ah Yin is a 10-year-old soul beast? The first elder, sixth elder and seventh elder looked at Long Xiaoyao and felt very angry, but they were helpless. They really didn't dare to tell Ah Yin that he was a 10-year-old soul beast. Everyone looked at the great elder, sixth elder and seventh elder, waiting for their responses. At such a young age, he is so cunning, and wantonly confuses right and wrong. The great elder took a deep breath, raised his head, raised his chest, stuck out his butt, and put on a righteous and awe-inspiring look. Tang Hao and Tang Xiao are the most talented and powerful disciples of our Haoshan sect. What kind of beauty do they want, but our Haoshan sect can't find it for them? Why do they want to lie? It was obviously you who attacked Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, but it is said that Tang Hao and Tang Xiao were greedy for her beauty. It is a joke. You are simply too abominable. The great elder pointed at Ah Yin and showed a disdainful smile. The great elder is right, you are simply too abominable. People from the Haoshan sect and the Min clan all shouted. Ah Yin heard what the great elder said and saw the great elder's righteous look. Especially when she heard that the great elder was still slandering her and Long Xiaoyao, she felt extremely angry. She just wanted to say something, but was stopped by Long Xiaoyao. In that case, we have nothing to say. If you want to take action, just do it. Last time, Tang Hao and Tang Xiao escaped by chance. I don't mind killing you this time. As I said before, if Ah Yin wants to capture me, he should step over my body first. Facing the great elder and the Haoshan sect, Long Xiaoyao showed an evil smile, not afraid at all, but rather excited. Ah Yin smiled happily when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words, but this time she did not hide behind Long Xiaoyao, but walked to Long Xiaoyao's side, ready to fight. Ah Yin wants to fight side by side with Long Xiaoyao. I must draw them to join Wuhun Palace and be used by me. Bibi Dong saw that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were not afraid when facing the great elder, a titled Douluo. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's firm words, I felt that Long Xiaoyao was not only brave, but also attached great importance to love and justice, and was even very powerful. Seeing that Ah Yin chose to fight alongside Long Xiaoyao without hesitation, I felt that Ah Yin was also a person who values love and justice. He became even more determined to save Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin and let them join Wuhun Hall. What a fun little couple. Yu Guan looked at Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin with great interest, thinking that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were lovers, so he murmured something and smiled. When Bibi Dong heard Yu Guan's words, her heart suddenly trembled. She was a little unhappy and angry, and she didn't know why. Guima looked at Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin expressionlessly, wondering what he was thinking. What an arrogant boy. If that's the case, then I'll show you how powerful our Haoshan sect is. Wait a minute. The sixth elder rolled up his sleeves and prepared to fight, but was stopped by the first elder. Bibi Dong, this is your final warning. This is our Haoshan sect's business. You'd better stop meddling in my own business and leave me quickly, otherwise don't blame me for turning your back on others, the great elder solemnly warned Bibi Dong Gao again. He knew that if Bibi Dong chose to help Long Xiaoyao, they would most likely be gone, let alone capture Ah Yin. I saved these two people today, you can't take them away, Bibi Dong said angrily and domineeringly, her aura even more intimidating than before, even overwhelming the great elder. As soon as Bibi Dong finished speaking, Yu Guan, Guima, as well as the Soul Saints and Soul Douluo from Wuhun Palace were ready for battle. People from the Haoshan sect and the Min clan also prepared for battle. Just waiting for Bibi Dong and the first elder to give the order, they swarmed forward call out. I'm here to stop the people from Wuhun Palace. You go and kill Long Xiaoyao, capture Ah Yin, and then evacuate directly. The great elder rushed directly towards Bibi Dong and others and ordered at the same time. Although he knew that this battle would be difficult to win, the great elder could not just watch Ah Yin and Long Xiaoyao leave. Ah Yin was a 10-year-old soul beast. He just couldn't show weakness to Wuhun Palace. If word spread in the future, their Haoshan sect would lose all face, which would have a great impact on future development. He can only gamble now. Bet that Long Xiaoyao is not as powerful as Tang Hao and Tang Xiao said, and bet that the sixth elder and the seventh elder can lead the Haoshan sect and the Min clan while he blocks the people from Wuhun Palace. The people killed Long Xiaoyao and captured Ah Yin. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, 9 soul rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black, rose rapidly under the great elder's feet, bursting out with a powerful momentum. The seventh soul skill, the real body of the tool soul, the great elder jumped up and used his seventh soul skill. At this time, a huge black clear sky hammer appeared in the hands of the great elder, exuding a very powerful aura, much more powerful than Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, and it pressed down on Bibi Dong and others. Except for Guima and Yu Guan, Bibi Dong and the Soul Saints of Wuhun Hall and Contra were all suppressed call out, call out. When Guima and Yu Guan saw that the great elder had taken action, they rushed forward to greet him. Buzz! At Guima and Yu Guan's feet, 9 soul rings of yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black rose rapidly, all of which were the best configuration of soul rings. The seventh soul skill, the real body of the martial soul, Yu Guan stretched out a hand and directly used his seventh soul skill. Immediately afterwards, a huge, magnificent purple velvet flower appeared in Yu Guan's hand, looking extremely dazzling. The seventh soul skill, Ghost Avatar, Guima also directly used his seventh soul skill, and then, his whole body was surrounded by strange black energy and entered a state of nothingness. With Guima and Yu Guan taking action, Bibi Dong and the people in Wuhun Hall could no longer feel the oppression of the great elder. Kill, buzz! At the same time, the sixth elder and the seventh elder led the people of the Haoshan sect and the Min clan and rushed directly towards Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. They summoned their soul rings one by one and activated their martial souls. Chapter 27. That young master actually also has a twin martial spirit. Stop the Haoshan sect's people and save them, call out. Seeing the people of the Haoshan sect and the Min clan killing Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, Bibi Dong immediately gave the order, and then took the lead and rushed towards the people of the Haoshan sect, intending to rescue Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Kill, The people from Wuhun Palace followed closely behind Bibi Dong and rushed towards the people from Haoshan Sect. Ninth Soul Skill, Thunderbolt, Rumble. Click click. The Great Elder directly used his ninth soul skill with all his strength. The sky suddenly became dark with dark clouds. The Haoshan Sect in his hand also became very huge, filled with white thunder and lightning, exuding a very terrifying power. The Great Elder not only locked onto Gui Mei and Yu Guan, but also locked onto Bibi Dong and others, and directly hit them with a hammer. Even the space was somewhat distorted. The Great Elder did this to prevent Bibi Dong and others from rescuing Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, and to buy time for the Haoshan Sect, Min Zhi clan and others. The ninth soul skill, the chrysanthemum is broken, the ground is injured, and the flowers fall to the heart. Yu Guan also immediately used his ninth soul skill. The strange velvet giant chrysanthemum in his hand immediately shattered, and each petal spun like a crescent blade, forming a huge golden tornado that greeted him. The Great Elder's clear sky hammer. Loudly. Bang bang bang. The golden tornado collided with the clear sky hammer, and the petals like crescent blades continued to shatter. It was obvious that Yu Guan's ninth soul skill was no match for the Great Elder's ninth soul skill, but it also slowed down the impact of the clear sky hammer call out. The ghost waved its strange black wings, facing the clear sky hammer, and rushed directly towards the Great Elder. Strangely, the ghost passed directly through the thunder-filled clear sky hammer without suffering any damage. Because the current ghost has entered a state of nothingness and is immune to physical attacks. The second soul skill, Soul-Eating Claws, Gui Mei directly used his second soul skill, and the black energy in his hands turned into sharp claws, filled with a strange aura that made people shudder. At this moment, the ghost had arrived in front of the Great Elder and used his soul-eating claws to attack the Great Elder. The Great Elder felt that the ghost's attack was extremely strange, so he had to speed up and defeat Yu Guan's ninth soul skill. Then, holding the clear sky hammer, he faced the ghost and started fighting with the ghost. The sixth soul skill, Jinru Flowing Clouds, Yu Guan recondensed the strange velvet Tong Shinju, and immediately used the sixth soul skill. The petals of the strange velvet giant chrysanthemum turned into streams of light and attacked the Great Elder, assisting the ghost in fighting with the Great Elder. Buzz! At the same time, facing the men from the Haoshan Sect and the Min clan who were attacking with great force, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin calmly summoned their soul rings. Under Ah Yin's feet, 5 soul rings of yellow, purple, and black rose rapidly, and a blue silver grass martial soul appeared in his hand. At Long Xiaoyao's feet, the 8 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and black quickly rose up, and the domineering Maoda Wuhan behind him appeared, exuding a sacred aura, full of majesty, and making people feel sad. People are intimidated. The reason why Long Xiaoyao's soul ring changed from 8 red to the best configuration was because he used the Zuanwu trunk bone's accompanying soul skill, Illusion. Long Xiaoyao can use illusion to change his soul ring into other colors at will, which Shivan Peerless Douluo cannot see. And the role of illusion is far more than that. Long Xiaoyao can also use illusion to transform into the appearance of others. He can even use illusion to achieve complete invisibility, which Shivan Peerless Douluo cannot detect. Long Xiaoyao has not yet reached the state of being invincible in Douluo continent. He does not want to show off his 8 red soul ring configuration in front of outsiders, otherwise he will most likely be feared by others and be hunted down. Long Xiaoyao also wanted to practice medicine happily in Douluo continent to earn medical god points, and then reveal his true strength after becoming invincible in Douluo continent. Although Ah Yin knew Long Xiaoyao's true strength, Long Xiaoyao believed that Ah Yin would not tell it. As for Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, even if they tell them, Long Xiaoyao has a way to make people not believe what the brothers say. Didn't Tang Hao and Tang Xiao say that Long Xiaoyao's soul ring configuration was 8 reds? Why not? The first elder, 6th elder and 7th elder noticed Long Xiaoyao's soul ring, and their hearts were suddenly filled with questions. What a powerful aura. It's even more powerful than the teacher's top martial spirit. What kind of martial spirit is that? Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao and was shocked when she felt the powerful aura emanating from Long Xiaoyao's Maoder martial spirit. The 5th soul skill, Blue-Silver Sea Binding, Ah Yin stretched out his leg, gently touched the ground, and directly performed his 5th soul skill. Starting from the tip of Ah Yin's blue high-heeled shoes, the ground turned blue-gold, and then spread rapidly, instantly covering the people of the Haoshan sect and the Min clan who were rushing over. Immediately afterwards, huge blue-silver grasses rose up continuously from the ground, quickly entangled everyone in the Haoshan sect, and temporarily restrained everyone in the Haoshan sect. The members of the Min clan were so fast that they had already flown into the air before being restrained by the blue-silver grass, avoiding the restraints of a Yin's soul skills. Miss Bibi Dong, don't come over here, otherwise if I accidentally hurt you, I won't be responsible in the future. While everyone in the Haoshan sect was restrained, Long Xiaoyao condensed fiery red phoenix wings directly behind his back and flew into the air, reminding Bibi Dong Gao at the same time. Stop! Hearing Long Xiaoyao's reminder, Bibi Dong ordered to stop, and then looked at Long Xiaoyao. He felt that Long Xiaoyao was not joking. The Soul Saints and Soul Douluo of Wuhun Palace stopped and followed Bibi Dong, looking at Long Xiaoyao together. The second soul skill, Vermilion Bird Burning Sky Flame, Long Xiaoyao directly used his second soul skill. Buzz! A large amount of soul power was released from Long Xiaoyao's body, turning into fiery red flames and attacking the people of Haoshan sect. The air in his path was burned, exuding a very hot temperature. Retreat! Retreat! Feeling the power of Suzaku's sky-burning flames, Bibi Dong immediately ordered, and then immediately led the people from Wuhun Palace to retreat aside. The fourth soul skill, Haoshan Body Protection. Everyone in the trapped Haoshan sect saw the incoming flames and felt the power of the flames. They knew that they might not be able to withstand it, but at this moment they could no longer escape, so they all used their fourth soul skills, one by one. A protective shield quickly formed around them. Buzz! Just when the people of Haoshan sect had just finished using their fourth soul skill, Long Xiaoyao's Suzaku sky-burning flames had already struck in front of them, engulfing them all at once, and the place where they were turned into a sea of fire. What? Immediately afterwards, sharp and piercing screams continued to be heard from the sea of fire, which was a bit scary just listening to it. Stop! The eighth soul skill, Yan Fanfei, the leader of the Min clan, flew toward Long Xiaoyao at high speed while using his eighth soul skill. I saw 6 clones exactly like him appearing around the leader of the Min clan, making it impossible to tell the authenticity. It's true or not. This soul skill is quite powerful. Long Xiaoyao used his insightful eye to discover that the 6 clones of the leader of the Min clan could be either clones or the main body, which was somewhat surprising. He knew that if he wanted to defeat the leader of the Min clan, he would need to attack 7 of them at the same time. The 6th soul skill, Control the Wind and Fly. Come on! The 7 clan leaders of the Min clan and the other 4 clan members pulled out their daggers, used their 6th soul skills, increased their speed to the extreme, and killed Long Xiaoyao. The speed is okay, but it's not fast enough. Long Xiaoyao looked at the people of the Min clan who were attacking, and showed an evil smile. He opened his right hand, and the god-killing sword of destruction with blood-red mist instantly appeared in his hand, exuding a terrifying aura of destruction, which made people shudder. That young master actually also has twin martial spirits. Bibi Dong was extremely shocked when she saw Long Xiaoyao's sudden summons of the destruction god-killing sword. She never expected that Long Xiaoyao had twin martial souls just like her. Twin martial spirits, except for Ah Yin. Everyone who noticed that Long Xiaoyao summoned another martial spirit was extremely shocked. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 28, Killing the Title Douluo. Whoosh! Without saying a word, Long Xiaoyao waved the phoenix wings behind his back and rushed towards the people of the Min clan. He was faster than the people of the Min clan and flew in front of the people of the Min clan. So fast, the people of the Min clan were extremely shocked. They never expected that Long Xiaoyao's flying speed was actually faster than theirs. The martial spirit of the people of the Min clan is the sharp-tailed swift, which is said to be the fastest, but to put it bluntly, it is just a little swallow. Long Xiaoyao's first martial spirit is Maodu, the ancestor of Qilin, and he even received the voluntary sacrifice of the 10-year-old Suzaku. How could he not be as fast as a group of swallows in terms of speed? Pooh! Accompanied by a steady stream of crisp sounds, a second later, Long Xiaoyao passed through the people of the Min clan. The daggers in the hands of the 4 members of the Min clan and the 7 clan leaders of the Min clan were all broken in the middle, and their bodies were separated. Immediately afterwards, all the clones of the 6 leaders of the Min clan disappeared, and the bodies of the 5 clan members fell towards the ground. Although Long Xiaoyao is a doctor who saves people and has a kind heart, he is only kind to people who are not enemies. He has no womanly kindness towards his enemies. Since these people from the Min clan have chosen to become Long Xiaoyao's enemies and have started to kill him, he will kill them mercilessly. Because Long Xiaoyao knew that kindness to the enemy was cruelty to himself. So strong. So decisive. And his weapon soul seems to be more powerful than the clear sky hammer. Who is he? Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao and realized that she had never heard of Long Xiaoyao before, and was extremely curious about Long Xiaoyao's identity. She knew that she could either become friends with Long Xiaoyao, recruit Long Xiaoyao to join Wuhun Hall and be used by her, or kill Long Xiaoyao now. Otherwise, Long Xiaoyao will definitely be her biggest obstacle in unifying Douluo continent in the future. Little beast, you are courting death. The great elder was so angry that he gritted his teeth. He saw Long Xiaoyao instantly killing the enemy of the Min clan, and the people of the Haoshan sect were now uncertain about their life or death. However, the great elder felt the terror of the Suzaku's sky-burning flames and the screams coming from the people of the Haoshan sect. He knew that the people of the Haoshan sect were extremely difficult to defend and would probably be annihilated, and he felt extremely angry. The great elder planned to fight to the death and kill Long Xiaoyao. The 9th soul skill is thunderous. The great elder fought off the ghosts in Yuguan with all his strength, and used his 9th soul skill again, condensing a huge clear sky hammer filled with white thunder and lightning, and locked onto Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao, although Ah Yin knew that Long Xiaoyao was very strong, she still couldn't help but worry about Long Xiaoyao when she saw that Long Xiaoyao was locked by the great elder's 9th soul skill. Elder Ghost, Elder Yu, stop him quickly and help the young master. Seeing Long Xiaoyao planning to confront the great elder Hardsteel's 9th soul skill, Bibi Dong was a little worried about Long Xiaoyao and immediately gave orders to Guimei and Yuguan. Bibi Dong didn't know Long Xiaoyao's strength, but she saw that Long Xiaoyao was just an 85th level Contra, while the great elder was an old 93rd level title Douluo. Bibi Dong knew how difficult it was to cross-level challenges, especially when Contra challenged title Douluo to cross-level challenges. She didn't think Long Xiaoyao could defeat the great elder. The 9th soul skill, the chrysanthemum is broken, the ground is injured, and the flowers fall to the heart. Yuguan immediately released his 9th soul skill again, and a huge golden tornado formed again, locked onto the great elder, and then directly attacked the great elder. 9th soul skill, infinite ghost shadow devour. Guimei also immediately used his 9th soul skill. Immediately afterwards, a black hole appeared above the great elder, and many black ghosts appeared from the black hole, all rushing towards the great elder. Although the great elder saw the attacks of Yuguan and Guimei, in order to kill Long Xiaoyao, he did not choose to fight Guimei and Yuguan, but only mobilized his soul power to form a protective shield around them. Whoosh! The first soul skill, the hairy calf arm. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao used his first soul skill, attaching furry arms full of purple thunder and lightning to his hands, which tripled the strength of his arms. Long Xiaoyao held the destruction god-killing sword with both hands. The purple thunder and lightning spread to the destruction god-killing knife, and then rushed directly towards the great elder. At the same time, soul power was injected into the god-killing blade of destruction, and the blade lit up, exuding dazzling light and a terrifying aura of destruction. Long Xiaoyao was about to kill the great elder. He would not let his enemy go easily. Last time he let Tang Hao and Tang Xiao run away. At first, he was trapped in Ah Yin's gentle hometown and didn't pay attention. Secondly, Long Xiaoyao wanted to see if Tang San would be born. He wanted to reveal Tang San's false mask. Otherwise, how could Tang Hao and Tang Xiao escape from Long Xiaoyao's hands? Bang bang bang. At this time, Yuguan and Guimei's attacks all hit the great elder's protective shield, and violent explosions occurred one after another. As a result, the great elder's soul power was continuously consumed. Little bastard! Die! Withstanding the attacks from Ghost and Yuguan, the great elder directly smashed the clear sky hammer towards Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao faced the falling Haoshan hammer and rushed straight towards the great elder. The secret of the sword technique of destruction, annihilation. Facing the huge clear sky hammer, Long Xiaoyao did not dodge or dodge. He used all his strength to slash with his sword and looked at the great elder's clear sky hammer. Zhang! The god-killing blade of destruction collided with a clear sky hammer, making a deafening sound that made the sky and the earth tremble. Although Long Xiaoyao's level is only level 85, the Great Elder's level is level 93. But Long Xiaoyao has twin martial souls, one is Maodu, the ancestor of Qilin, and the other is the destruction god-killing sword that is comparable to Maodu, and is far more advanced than the Great Elder's clear sky hammer. Moreover, Maodu's 8 soul rings all absorbed 10-year-old divine beasts, which were far more advanced than the Great Elder's soul rings. Now Long Xiaoyao used 2 martial arts and cast the secret of the destruction sword technique. Although the Great Elder had used the 9th soul skill, he had already consumed a lot of soul power when fighting against the ghosts in Yuguan just now. Moreover, now that the Great Elder has allocated a large amount of soul power to resist the attacks of ghosts in Yuguan, how can his thunderous force be able to withstand Long Xiaoyao's annihilation? Click click. The clear sky hammer and the god-killing blade of destruction were in a stalemate for less than 2 seconds before the clear sky hammer shattered. How is this possible? Looking at the broken clear sky hammer, the Great Elder's eyes almost bulged out. How can it be so powerful? Bibi Dong, the people in Yuguan and Wuhun Hall, and even the ghosts looked at the shattered Haoshan hammer, their eyes wide open, and they were all shocked. They never expected that the Great Elder's clear sky hammer would be no match for Long Xiaoyao's god destruction sword, nor did they expect that the clear sky hammer would be chopped into pieces. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes, they wouldn't believe it even if they were killed. Long Xiaoyao didn't stop there and slashed directly at the Great Elder. The Great Elder looked at the attacking Long Xiaoyao and the red light god-killing saber of destruction in Long Xiaoyao's hand. He felt as if he was being targeted by the god of death. He had a look of fear on his face, and cold sweat broke out all over his body. He quickly mobilized his soul. Strengthen the protective cover. Zhang, boom. Long Xiaoyao directly slashed the Great Elder's defensive shield with a knife. The Great Elder's defensive shield lasted less than a second before being chopped into pieces. Puff, boom. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao slashed at the Great Elder, directly hitting the Great Elder with a knife, cutting the Great Elder into blood mist, leaving no bones. Bibi Dong and others looked at Long Xiaoyao holding the god-killing blade of destruction, and couldn't calm down for a long time. You must know that it is difficult for Contra to challenge a title Douluo. The Great Elder is still a 93-level-old title Douluo. It is more than enough for one person to deal with 2 93-level title Douluo, Gui Mei and Yuguan. Such a Great Elder was cut into bloody mist by Long Xiaoyao. At the same time, the screams of the people of the Haoshan sect stopped suddenly, the sea of fire gradually dissipated, and the people of the Haoshan sect appeared in everyone's eyes again. I saw that all the people of the Haoshan sect, including the 6th elder and the 7th elder, were burned to charcoal. They were so dead that they could no longer identify who is who. Chapter 29 Girlfriend, the out-of-control realm of the god of death. Long Xiaoyao put away the destruction god-killing sword, waved his phoenix wings, flew back to Yin, and took back the Maoder martial spirit. Ah Yin, you are so capable. That wave of control was really good, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to eliminate the Haoshan sect's people at once, ignoring the corpses of the Haoshan sect and the Min clan, as well as Bibi Dong and others on the side. Long Xiaoyao praised Ah Yin with a smile. No, I'm just doing my best. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's compliment, Ah Yin showed a very happy smile and looked very beautiful. Miss Bibi Dong, 2 elders, everyone, thank you for your help. After a while, Long Xiaoyao turned around, faced Bibi Dong and others, and said with a smile. Young master, you're welcome. We haven't been able to help you at all. I believe that even just the 2 of you can kill them all. Bibi Dong waved her hands and said with a smile that she and the Soul Saints and Soul Douluo of Wuhan Palace did not help Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin at all. She even felt that even if Gui Mei and Yuguan did not take action, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin would not be able to help Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Able to kill everyone in the Haoshan sect and the Min clan. You can't say that. If Miss Bibi Dong hadn't put pressure on them, and if the 2 elders hadn't held back the old guy from Haoshan sect, they wouldn't have swarmed up, and Ah Yin and I wouldn't have been able to catch them all. Even if Ah Yin and I can kill them all, it will take a lot of energy, and it is very likely that Ah Yin and I will be injured, so we really thank you, Long Xiaoyao said with a heartfelt smile. Well, that's right. You are so powerful at such a young age, and you are not arrogant and polite. I am very optimistic about you. Yuguan looked at Long Xiaoyao, raised her orchid fingers, and praised Long Xiaoyao without hesitation. Bibi Dong, the soul saints of Wuhun Palace, the soul Douluo, and even the ghosts nodded. They all felt the same way. No, 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 don't praise me like that, or I will be proud, Long Xiaoyao joked. Sir, girl, what are your names? Which force are you from? Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao and asked curiously. Although Bibi Dong knew Ah Yin's name from Long Xiaoyao's voice, she didn't know Long Xiaoyao's name yet, nor did she know which force Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin came from. She was very curious about this. Moreover, this was related to Bibi Dong's future plans, and she needed to know the backgrounds of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Bibi Dong didn't want to reveal that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's voice, because she didn't know why she could hear Long Xiaoyao's voice at first, but it was obvious that Long Xiaoyao didn't know that she could hear Long Xiaoyao's voice, and she didn't know what to do explain. Secondly, Bibi Dong planned to use this advantage to understand Long Xiaoyao's truest thoughts. Before Long Xiaoyao could answer Bibi Dong's question, a scene that shocked everyone appeared. As soon as Bibi Dong finished speaking, Ah Yin immediately walked to Long Xiaoyao's side, took the initiative to hold Long Xiaoyao's hand tightly, and looked at Bibi Dong warily, as if she was declaring sovereignty to Bibi Dong and warning Bibi Dong generally. Although Ah Yin is gentle and kind and not competitive, it depends on the situation. After more than half a month of getting along, Ah Yin fell in love with Long Xiaoyao. She felt that Bibi Dong was just as interested in Long Xiaoyao as she had been when she first met Long Xiaoyao, and wanted to know Long Xiaoyao in depth. Ah Yin knew that Long Xiaoyao was very good. Even Bibi Dong would fall in love with Long Xiaoyao after getting to know him. For the sake of his own happiness, Ah Yin took the initiative. Ah Yin is so proactive. Could it be that she finds Bibi Dong sexier than her and is afraid that I will fall in love with Bibi Dong? Are you afraid that I will be snatched away by Bibi Dong? Seeing Ah Yin taking such initiative, Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised, but at the same time he was very happy and held Ah Yin's jade hand tightly. In the past half-month, although Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin had been acting together, because Ah Yin was very shy and reserved, Long Xiaoyao didn't want to force himself, so at most he found an opportunity to take Ah Yin's hand when he entered a city to play. Just hands. Now seeing Ah Yin taking such initiative, Long Xiaoyao was very happy. If I wore the same clothes as Bibi Dong, I would definitely be sexier than her. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's voice and felt very unconvinced. She was still very confident in her figure and appearance. But Ah Yin's pretty face also turned red. After all, this was her first time taking the initiative, and she was still very shy in front of so many people. But in order to declare her sovereignty to Bibi Dong, Ah Yin suppressed her shyness and did not let go of Long Xiaoyao's hand. At the same time, she also looked at Bibi Dong warily. This young man is really discerning. Bibi Dong felt very happy when she heard Long Xiaoyao's voice. She was also very confident in her figure and appearance. However, Bibi Dong was a little embarrassed when Ah Yin looked at her warily. But when Bibi Dong saw Ah Yin holding Long Xiaoyao's hand tightly, she felt a little envious and jealous for some reason. Under Bibi Dong's soft appearance, there is a proud heart, and ordinary men cannot catch her eye. The reason why she was somewhat attracted to Yu Xiaogang was because Yu Xiaogang was familiar with martial arts and gave her a lot of advice and help. This was the first time Bibi Dong met Long Xiaoyao, who looked about the same age as her, and possessed twin martial souls like her. He was very powerful, especially because he looked like a banished immortal, and was polite and generous in conversation. Moreover, Bibi Dong admired Long Xiaoyao's behavior very much, and she was somewhat attracted to Long Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong felt that she was no weaker than Ah Yin in terms of appearance, strength, or background, and ever since she was accepted as a disciple by Jin's Unji, she had whatever she wanted, and all the men were around her. No other woman can compare with her. But at this moment, Ah Yin could hold Long Xiaoyao's hand, while Bibi Dong could only look on enviously from the side, which made her feel unhappy. Girl, don't worry. I have no other intentions. I just want to get to know you and make friends with you. Bibi Dong persuaded Ah Yin with a smile, saying that she somehow wanted Ah Yin to let go of Long Xiaoyao's hand, and she held Long Xiaoyao's hand instead of Ah Yin. Ah Yin stared at Bibi Dong, not believing Bibi Dong's words at all. She still held Long Xiaoyao's hand tightly and stared at Bibi Dong warily. Ha ha ha! The Soul Saints and Soul Douluo from Yuguan and Wuhun Hall couldn't help laughing when they saw this scene. Only the ghost stood behind Bibi Dong expressionlessly, as if everything had nothing to do with him. Ah Yin, don't be like this. Miss Bibi Dong is the saint of Wuhun Palace. How could she fall in love with me, a little doctor with no background? Long Xiaoyao advised Bibi Dong that he knew that Bibi Dong was very arrogant, and when he asked about his and Ah Yin's background, he was just interested in his strength and wanted to recruit him to join Wuhun Hall so that he could use it for himself in the future. This was exactly what Long Xiaoyao wanted, and it was also the reason why he showed his twin martial souls and powerful strength in front of Bibi Dong. He knew that according to the current development, Bibi Dong would be raped by Jin's Unji, abandoned by Yu Xia gang, become Jin's Unji's reproductive tool, and embark on the path of darkness. But now that he has met her, he will never let such a thing happen, and he will give Bibi Dong a warm home. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin nodded and did not continue to stare at Bibi Dong warily, but did not let go of Long Xiaoyao's hand. Bibi Dong saw Long Xiaoyao being so gentle to Ah Yin, and became even more envious and jealous of Ah Yin. Miss Bibi Dong, my name is Long Xiaoyao, and this is Ah Yin, my girlfriend. We are just two wandering doctors without any background. Long Xiaoyao held Ah Yin's hand tightly, took advantage of the situation and introduced Bibi Dong with a smile, and then looked at Ah Yin lovingly. Although Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin have not yet confirmed their relationship, he has long wanted Ah Yin to be his girlfriend. He wants to see how Ah Yin will react when introduced like this. If there is no objection, of course it would be the best. Although Long Xiaoyao wanted to give the goddesses he liked a warm home, he did not want to deceive the goddesses, which was not in line with his style of conduct. In this world, as long as a man is strong enough, he can have 3 wives and 4 concubines. Long Xiaoyao is a man who is determined to use hard power to capture the hearts of goddesses and give them a warm home girlfriend. Ah Yin felt extremely happy when she heard Long Xiaoyao's words. A sweet smile suddenly appeared on her face. She looked at Long Xiaoyao in surprise, and looked at each other lovingly with Long Xiaoyao girlfriend. When Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's words and looked at the smiles of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, she felt a little lost for some reason. She became even more envious and jealous of Ah Yin, and even had the urge to kill Ah Yin. So your name is Long Xiaoyao and your name is Ah Yin. They are really 2 good names. Yu Guan raised her iconic orchid fingers and praised with a smile. Suddenly, Bibi Dong felt dizzy, her eyes turned red, and blood-red mist emitted from her body, accompanied by a strong killing intent. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, 6 soul rings of yellow, purple, black, and black rose rapidly under Bibi Dong's feet, and her body gradually changed. The skin of her upper body was slowly covered with a layer of purple-black armor, and even her face was gradually covered with a carapace. Under her eyes, 4 bright lights lit up, gradually forming 4 small eyes. The legs gradually disappeared, and the abdomen turned into a huge round sphere. Bibi Dong was now unconscious. Because of her jealousy, the god of killing domain, which was still unable to be controlled at will, went out of control and went berserk. It gradually turned into a machine that only knew how to kill, and unleashed a strong killing intent on Ah Yin. She only has one thought now, which is to kill Ah Yin and take away Long Xiaoyao. Chapter 30 Bibi Dong's Invitation, Silly Girl. His Royal Highness, the Soul Saints and Soul Douluo of Wuhun Palace looked at Bibi Dong, who suddenly lost control and ran away with a look of shock and confusion. They didn't know what happened. They had never encountered such a situation before. No, Her Majesty the Saint's God of Killing Realm seems to be out of control. Yu Guan and Ji Yuime saw that Bibi Dong was out of control in the God of Killing domain, and planned to rush towards Bibi Dong. Feeling that Bibi Dong suddenly released strong murderous intent towards Ah Yin, Long Xiaoyao immediately stood in front of Ah Yin, blocking Bibi Dong's murderous intent for Ah Yin. The Killing God realm is out of control. Long Xiaoyao could tell at a glance that Bibi Dong's God of Killing realm was out of control. He was affecting his mind in the God of Killing realm and was gradually turning into a killing machine. Whoosh! Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao had no time to think about why Bibi Dong's God of Killing domain was out of control. He accidentally let go of Ah Yin's jade hand and rushed directly towards Bibi Dong at a very fast speed. Long Xiaoyao rushed in front of Bibi Dong, pressed Bibi Dong's shoulder with his left hand, and used his insightful eyes to find the shank point and Kihei point in Bibi Dong's abdomen. These 2 acupuncture points are acupuncture points that can be connected to all parts of the body. Then Long Xiaoyao stretched out the thumb and index finger of his right hand, and pressed the 2 fingers heavily on the shank point and Kihei point. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao injected Bibi Dong's soul power containing the aura of a furry calf into Bibi Dong's body, which was used to block the flow of Bibi Dong's soul power and at the same time suppress the influence of Bibi Dong's god of killing domain, preventing Bibi Dong from continue to lose control and become a killing machine. What? The killing god realm contained a bit of the will of Shura god. It felt that Long Xiaoyao wanted to stop her from causing Bibi Dong to lose control, and resisted fiercely, causing Bibi Dong to feel great pain and couldn't help but scream. "Let go of your highness the saint, what do you want to do to her majesty the saint?" When the soul saints and soul Douluo from the Wuhun palace heard Bibi Dong's painful screams, they thought Long Xiaoyao was doing Bibi Dong a disservice, so they shouted at Long Xiaoyao and swarmed towards Long Xiaoyao. "Don't be impulsive. Long Xiaoyao is helping her highness the saint to stabilize the out-of-control god of killing realm. He has not harmed her highness the saint. Don't go over and disturb them, otherwise her highness the saint will become a machine that only knows how to kill." Gui Mei and Yu Guan stretched out a hand to stop everyone. At the same time, Yu Guan explained that they saw that Long Xiaoyao was helping Bibi Dong. When everyone heard what Gui Mei and Yu Guan said, they stopped. After hearing Yu Guan's words, Ah Yin looked at Long Xiaoyao and Bibi Dong. Instead of being jealous, she saw Bibi Dong's appearance and heard Bibi Dong's painful screams, feeling a little worried and distressed for Bibi Dong. Ah Yin wanted to help Bibi Dong very much, but she knew that she couldn't do it now. She could only pray silently on the side, praying that Long Xiaoyao could help Bibi Dong stabilize the killing god realm. Under everyone's gaze, Bibi Dong's screams stopped after a while, her body gradually returned to normal. The blood-red mist gradually dissipated, and her eyes gradually regained clarity and turned back to brown. Looks very beautiful and charming. God Shura is just a small god in the world of low martial arts. Maodo is the ancestor of Kilin, and he is several levels higher than God Shura. What's more, the killing god domain only has a trace of the will of Shura god. How can it resist Long Xiaoyao's soul power that has the aura of a furry calf? In a short time, Long Xiaoyao was completely suppressed by Shura god's will. Suppressed so quickly, Gui Mei, Yu Guan, and the people in Wuhun Hall were extremely shocked when they saw this scene. They didn't expect that Long Xiaoyao could stabilize Bibi Dong's out-of-control killing god realm so quickly. Great! Ah Yin saw Bibi Dong gradually returning to normal, and was very happy for Bibi Dong, and felt relieved. Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao in front of her, felt a warmth from Long Xiaoyao's arm, and felt both shocked and happy. She was shocked because she didn't expect Long Xiaoyao to be able to stabilize her god of killing domain so quickly. She was happy because she felt that she seemed to be able to control the god of killing domain as she wished. What's more important is that she is now in direct contact with Long Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong's pretty face turned red quickly. She had never let a man touch her body directly in her entire life, not even Jin's Unji, the master she respected the most. Not to mention a more private part like the abdomen. But she felt that Long Xiaoyao's hands were so big and warm, making her feel safe. "Okay, Miss Bibi Dong, your god of killing domain has been stabilized, and you're fine." After stabilizing Bibi Dong's god of killing domain and seeing that Bibi Dong had returned to normal, Long Xiaoyao let go of Bibi Dong and said with a smile, "Thank you Mr. Long." Bibi Dong apologized to Long Xiaoyao, speaking softly, without the domineering tone when talking to the elder before. She was like a little girl talking to her sweetheart. She looked very ladylike and cute. What? Bibi Dong's actions shocked Gui Mei, everyone in Yuguan and Wuhun Hall. Because as far as they know, Bibi Dong has always been very confident and domineering. They had never seen Bibi Dong act like a little girl in front of anyone else, no matter who she was in front of, not even in front of Jin's Unji. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes today and beat them to death, they wouldn't have believed that Bibi Dong had such a little girl side. I just introduced Ah Yin as my girlfriend, and Bibi Dong's god of killing realm suddenly got out of control, and she also released a strong murderous intention towards Ah Yin. Could it be that Bibi Dong has a crush on me, jealous of Ah Yin? What caused the god of death realm to lose control? Long Xiaoyao smiled, mentally guessing why Bibi Dong's god of killing domain was out of control. He felt that it was probably what he thought, and smiled knowingly. When Ah Yin saw Bibi Dong's appearance as a little girl and heard Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, she suddenly felt bad. She immediately came to Long Xiaoyao's side, held Long Xiaoyao's hand tightly again, and stared at Bibi Dong warily. Cyrillic letter dare. Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and found that Long Xiaoyao had immediately guessed why her god of killing domain had lost control just now. In addition, she noticed Ah Yin's vigilant eyes, and she suddenly panicked and felt at a loss. However, as a saint of Wuhun Palace, Bibi Dong had received higher education and training. She had never seen any big storms, so she quickly calmed down. Bibi Dong never fails to get what she likes. Now she wants to replace Ah Yin and get Long Xiaoyao more and more. But Bibi Dong knew that now was not the time to talk to Long Xiaoyao, because Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were already boyfriend and girlfriend. She could also see that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin had a good relationship, and Long Xiaoyao loved Ah Yin very much. It was only the first time that Bibi Dong and Long Xiaoyao met, and she even caused the god of killing domain to lose control because of her jealousy of Ah Yin. It was already good that Long Xiaoyao did not choose to become her enemy. It happened that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin had not joined any force, so Bibi Dong felt that the best choice now was to invite Long Xiaoyao to join Wuhun Hall. Then she let Long Xiaoyao see her goodness, let Long Xiaoyao see that the things she could give to Long Xiaoyao were far more than what Ah Yin could give, and made Long Xiaoyao fall in love with her. Mr. Long, Miss Ah Yin, since you haven't joined any force yet, why don't you join our Wuhun Hall and come back to the Wuhun Hall with me? The teacher will definitely put you to good use. Bibi Dong smiled and suggested to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin Dao. She was very confident, because the Wuhun Palace can be said to be the most powerful force. She is the saint of the Wuhun Palace, and her master is the Pope of the Wuhun Palace. She believed that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin would not refuse. Silly girl, she is about to be raped by Kayang Sunji. She has given birth to a child for Kayang Sunji, and she is still recruiting people for Kayang Sunji. Hearing that Bibi Dong was still trying to help Kayang Sunji, Long Xiaoyao felt even more pitiful for Bibi Dong. Chapter 31 Ah Yin and Bibi Dong's thoughts. What? How is this possible? Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's heartfelt voice. On the surface, she was as calm as still water, but inside she was already in a state of turmoil. She couldn't calm down and felt extremely unbelievable. No, it should be said that Bibi Dong couldn't believe it at all, because Jin Zunji was her mentor, the best person to her, and the person she respected the most. Bibi Dong knew that without Jin Zunji, she would not be where she is now. Even if Bibi Dong was killed, it would be hard for her to believe that Jin Zunji would do such an animal thing to her. What? Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's inner voice. Although she found it unbelievable, she believed in Long Xiaoyao. Because when Ah Yin met Long Xiaoyao for the first time, Long Xiaoyao also said in his heart that Tang Hao and Tang Xiao were lying to her in order to get her 10-year soul ring and soul bones. Ah Yin didn't believe it at first, but the result also proved that what Long Xiaoyao said in his heart was right, so Ah Yin believed what Long Xiaoyao said in his heart. But even if I told Bibi Dong, I'm afraid she wouldn't believe it. After all, if Bibi Dong believed it so easily, she wouldn't be raped by Jin Zunji later. Forget it. I'd better go to Wuhun City and find a way to uncover Jin Zunji's false mask and let Bibi Dong see Jin Zunji's true face. Long Xiaoyao knew that it was basically impossible to convince Bibi Dong, so he planned to go to Wuhun City. It just so happened that he originally planned to take Ah Yin to Wuhun City. Because based on the timeline, Long Xiaoyao guessed that it was almost the time when Bibi Dong was raped by Jin Zunji and deceived and abandoned by Yu Xiao gang. He originally planned to go to Wuhun City to save Bibi Dong. Thank you Miss Bibi Dong for the invitation, but just join the Wuhun Palace. Ah Yin and I like freedom and don't like to be restricted. Long Xiaoyao politely declined Bibi Dong's invitation. He really didn't want to join the Wuhun Palace, which would cause some inconvenience in future actions. Otherwise, he would have joined long ago. But Ah Yin and I plan to go to the Wuhun Palace to practice medicine and have some fun. Since Miss Bibi Dong is the saint of the Wuhun Palace, I wonder if you are willing to be our guide and take us to the Wuhun Palace for fun and delicious food. Where's the place? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao asked Bibi Dong with a smile. What? You Guan, the soul saints of the Wuhun Palace, the soul Douluo, and even the ghosts showed shocked expressions. They never expected that Long Xiaoyao would actually reject Bibi Dong's invitation and even ask Bibi Dong to be their guide. When Ah Yin heard what Long Xiaoyao asked Bibi Dong, she didn't say anything or feel unhappy. Instead, she supported Long Xiaoyao very much. Because Ah Yin knew that Bibi Dong was in the same situation now as she was before, and she sympathized with Bibi Dong very much. Fortunately, with the help of Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin knew the true identities of Tang Hao and Tang Xiao, and would not continue to be deceived by Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. Ah Yin hopes that Bibi Dong can also recognize the true face of Jin Zunji with the help of Long Xiaoyao, and get rid of the fate of being raped by Jin Zunji and reduced her tool to give birth to children. But this does not mean that Ah Yin will watch Bibi Dong snatch Long Xiaoyao away. She knows that she cannot be as reserved as before. She must take the initiative to let Long Xiaoyao know that she is sexier than Bibi Dong, so that Long Xiaoyao must be completely obsessed with her. Okay, Bibi Dong smiled and nodded. Although Bibi Dong still didn't believe that Jin Zunji would do such an animal thing to her, she was sure that Long Xiaoyao didn't know that she could hear her own voice. She felt that Long Xiaoyao wouldn't lie in his heart to deceive her. Bibi Dong wanted to see how Long Xiaoyao would show Jin Zunji's true form, and wanted to see if Jin Zunji was really a beast. The most important thing is that Bibi Dong doesn't want to miss Long Xiaoyao. As long as after entering Wuhan City, she feels that Long Xiaoyao will often look for her if he wants Jin Zunji to show his true form, and she can let Long Xiaoyao see her. She's fine. Of course, what Bibi Dong hopes most is that Long Xiaoyao has made a mistake. Kayang Sunji is still the best mentor in her mind. She can also take the opportunity to let Long Xiaoyao know that Kayang Sunji is not that kind of person and unravel Long Xiaoyao's relationship with Kayang Sunji misunderstanding. At the same time, Bibi Dong also wanted to let Jin Zunji see the excellence of Long Xiaoyao, hoping to get Jin Zunji's support to help her win Long Xiaoyao and get Jin Zunji's blessing. What? Bibi Dong's answer once again refreshed the views of Yuena, Yuguan and everyone in Wuhun Hall. If they hadn't seen it with their own eyes and beaten them to death, they would never have imagined that Bibi Dong would actually agree to be a guide for others. They are now very sure that Bibi Dong is definitely in love with Long Xiaoyao. Your Highness the Saint, Long Xiaoyao, Miss Ah Yin, without further ado, let's return to Wuhan Palace immediately. In 10 days, it will be Wuhan City's annual Harvest Festival. Wuhan City will be very lively by then. You can have a good time. Yu Guan came to Long Xiaoyao, between Ah Yin and Bibi Dong, raised his iconic orchid fingers and said with a smile. Yu Guan saw that Long Xiaoyao was obviously much stronger than Yu Xiaogang, whom Bibi Dong had a crush on before entering the killing city. Now that Bibi Dong has fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao, Yu Guan, as Bibi Dong's guard and titled Douluo, can be said to have watched Bibi Dong grow up, so of course he must give his full support. Really? That's great. Without further ado, let's get going, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Okay, Bibi Dong smiled and nodded, and asked a few people to clean up the bodies of the Min clan, while she took Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, Guima, Yuguan and others to Wuhan City. After a while, Bibi Dong led Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and others to the place where she had parked the Soul Beast car. The Soul Beast car is very large, and the decoration is very rich and luxurious. The Soul Beast pulling the cart is a flaming horse that is more than 300 years old. It has the logo of the Pope of Wuhan Palace on it. It was specially sent by Jin Zunji to pick up Bibi Dong. Mr. Long, Miss Ah Yin, please get in the car, Bibi Dong smiled and said to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Miss Bibi Dong, let's forget it. The speed of this Soul Beast car is too slow. Long Xiaoyao waved his hand directly. He couldn't wait to go to Wuhan City to uncover Jin Zunji's mask and let Bibi Dong see Jin Zunji's true face. Too slow, Bibi Dong, Guima, Yuguan and the others in Wuhan Hall all looked at Long Xiaoyao in surprise when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Because the fire horse, which is more than 300 years old, is very fast and has great endurance, able to travel, miles a day. Get on the fire-drawn Soul Beast chariot and trigger it from here. It only takes less than 2 days to enter Wuhan City. Long Xiaoyao actually said he was slow? Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao took out a little hornet from the space ring. This time Long Xiaoyao asked Little Hornet to expose the seat behind him, because he not only had to carry Ah Yin, but also Bibi Dong. The Little Hornet is much faster. Let's take the Little Hornet over there, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Little Wasp, what is this? Bibi Dong, Guima, Yuguan and the others in Wuhan Hall looked at the sudden appearance of Little Hornet, all with question marks on their faces and extremely curious, very handsome. But they all have a common thought at this moment, that is, Little Hornet is too handsome and beautiful. They are all attracted by Little Hornet's handsome appearance. Mr. Long, what is this? Can it run? And can it be faster than a spirit beast chariot drawn by the fire? Bibi Dong asked Long Xiaoyao curiously. She saw no horses or soul beasts pulling Little Hornet. She didn't think Little Hornet could run, let alone go faster than the spirit beast cart pulled by Li Hero. Gui Mei and others also looked at Long Xiaoyao very curiously. They also had the same questions as Bibi Dong. The Little Hornet is a sports car, and it's electric. It can not only run faster than your soul beast car, but it can also fly into the sky. Long Xiaoyao didn't show off and said with a smile. Electric, can you still fly? When Bibi Dong and others heard Long Xiaoyao's words, besides being confused, their faces were full of question marks. They really couldn't imagine how this little wasp could run or fly into the sky. Chapter 32 Bibi Dong gets in the car. Question mark? It's useless to talk more. You will know after you experience it for yourself later, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, then walked to the passenger door and opened the door. Ah Yin, please get in the car. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Ah Yin. Ah Yin smiled, walked past Long Xiaoyao skillfully, walked into the passenger seat, sat in the passenger seat, and fastened his seat belt. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao closed the car door, came to the back seat door, and opened the car door. Miss Bibi Dong, please get in the car. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong. It is good. Bibi Dong nodded and walked from Long Xiaoyao's side into the back seat. Smell good, but why does it smell like blood? When Bibi Dong walked past Long Xiaoyao, he smelled Bibi Dong's unique body fragrance, but it was also mixed with the smell of blood, which surprised him. Cyrillic letter there. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bibi Dong immediately panicked, her pretty face immediately turned red, and she felt very embarrassed. Only then did she remember that she had told Jin Zunji and Yu Xiaogang the news that she had passed the trial and obtained the Killing God domain in order to pass the Slaughter City trial and return to the Spirit Hall quickly. It had been almost 3 days. It's been no time to take a shower, and my body smells like human blood. Bibi Dong quickly speeded up, walked into the back seat, and sat down on the seat, not daring to look directly at Long Xiaoyao. So soft. So comfortable. Feeling the softness and comfort of the cushion, Bibi Dong showed a comfortable smile. She was surprised to find that the cushion of Little Hornet was actually much more comfortable than the cushion of her exclusive Soul Beast car. Bibi Dong must be trying to pass the trial of the Killing City quickly, so there is such a strong smell of blood. What a good girl who works hard and doesn't stick to trivial matters. Long Xiaoyao immediately thought of why Bibi Dong had such a strong smell of blood, and admired Bibi Dong very much. Bibi Dong was very happy to hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and admired Bibi Dong a little. At the same time, the uneasy feeling in her heart became stronger, and she became more determined to take the initiative, otherwise Long Xiaoyao would be snatched away by Bibi Dong sooner or later. Miss Bibi Dong, please fasten your seat belt, Long Xiaoyao reminded Bibi Dong Dao. Seat belt? Bibi Dong had a question mark on his face. I'm here to help you. I'm sorry, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, and then directly took action, pulled out the seat belt, and fastened the seat belt for Bibi Dong. Thank you Mr. Long. Bibi Dong lowered her head, blushed prettily, and thanked Long Xiaoyao in a soft voice. She looked extremely cute, and once again shocked Yu Guang and others on the side. You are welcome, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile and closed the car door directly. There's room for one more person in the back. Which of you wants to sit? Long Xiaoyao asked the people in Yuguan who were watching on the side. Without waiting for Yuguan and others to reply, Bibi Dong immediately cast a fierce look at Yuguan and others, indicating that they were not allowed to come up. Because Bibi Dong saw that there was another seat next to her, and she didn't want Yuguan and others to sit next to her. No, we don't have to sit, except for the ghosts. Yuguan and others waved their hands and said with smiles against their will. They all wanted to go up and sit down, but they didn't dare. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded. He didn't notice Bibi Dong's small eyes. He didn't dare. Yuguan and the others didn't want to sit down, which was exactly what he wanted. Long Xiaoyao walked directly to the driver's door, opened the door, got in, closed the door, and pressed the start switch. Hoo. The engine of the Little Hornet started, making a roaring sound, and the entire body of the Little Hornet also vibrated. Are you moving? Bibi Dong was very surprised when she felt a vibration from the seat cushion, thinking that the little wasp was moving. So comfortable. Bibi Dong felt as if her butt and back were being massaged, extremely comfortable. But Bibi Dong tried her best to control herself not to move or look around. She didn't want Long Xiaoyao to think that she had not seen the world. What sound? Yuguan and others were startled when they heard the sudden loud noise from the little hornet. I'm going to drive, please sit still, Long Xiaoyao reminded Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Okay, although Ah Yin was not sitting for the first time, she was still a little nervous and excited. Okay, it was the first time for Bibi Dong to sit. She was very nervous and excited at the same time. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao made a set of skillful moves, and the little hornet started running directly on the road, and the speed became faster and faster. Wow! He actually started running. It's so fast, discovering that the little hornet actually started running, and the speed was getting faster and faster. In a short time, it was faster than the fire horse, and it was also very stable. Bibi Dong was extremely shocked, extremely excited, and felt very novel. Bibi Dong could no longer control her excitement. She showed an expression of surprise and excitement. Looking at the fleeting scenery around her, she couldn't help shouting. She looked like a young girl, very cute and charming. Even though Bibi Dong is very sexy and mature now, she is still just a young girl in her early years. She couldn't help but get excited when she rode in a sports car for the first time. Really running? Yuguan and the others were extremely shocked when they saw the little hornet that suddenly started running and gradually moved away, running faster and faster. Call out. Loud you, follow me quickly, the ghost reacted first and immediately chased after him. Old ghost, wait for me, Yuguan also reacted and immediately chased after him. The identities of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin are still unclear, and Long Xiaoyao's strength is much higher than Bibi Dong. As Bibi Dong's title Douluo guards, Mei and Yuguan will never allow Long Xiaoyao to drive Bibi Dong away from their place sight range. The Soul Saints and Soul Douluo from Wuhun Palace also reacted and followed immediately. Two elders, everyone, don't worry, I will not harm Miss Bibi Dong. Next, I will fly back to Wuhun Hall with Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. You don't have to follow us. You can just hurry back to Wuhun Hall. From the rearview mirror, he noticed that Mei and others were chasing after him with all their strength. Long Xiaoyao stuck his head out and reminded Mei and others. Flying back to Wuhun Palace. Bibi Dong, Mei, Yuguan and others were extremely shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Besides being shocked, Bibi Dong was also filled with anticipation and excitement. She had never flown before. Ah Yin, Miss Bibi Dong, sit still, Long Xiaoyao reminded Ah Yin and Bibi Dong with a smile. Okay, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong nodded, and at the same time they became even more excited, especially Bibi Dong. Beep. Long Xiaoyao directly pressed the switch to flight mode, and then the little hornet switched to flight mode. Buzz, call out. Immediately afterwards, a large amount of electric fire gas was sprayed out from the center of the four wheels and the 6 exhaust pipes at the back. The powerful propulsion directly accelerated the little hornet into the sky. Wow! It's really flying, at a fast speed. Feeling the strong wind and seeing the blue sky and white clouds getting closer and closer, Bibi Dong was so excited that she couldn't help shouting. Bibi Dong had never flown before since she was a child. She didn't expect that her first flight would be so fast. Ah Yin also showed an excited smile. She did not laugh at Bibi Dong because she could understand Bibi Dong. She was just as excited as Bibi Dong when she took the little hornet for the first time. Fly. It's flying. Mei and others stopped and were extremely shocked when they saw the little hornet taking off immediately after the transformation. None of them expected that the little wasp could actually fly, and it could fly so fast. Whoosh! Old Jehua, follow me quickly. The ghost took off directly into the air and chased after the little hornet. Old ghost, wait for me. Yuguan also flew up and chased the little hornet. They are Bibi Dong's title Douluo guards, and it is their mission to keep Bibi Dong within their sight no matter what. The speed is so fast. After a while, Mei and Yuguan were deeply shocked again. They found that they were flying at full speed, but they could not catch up with the speed of the little hornet. They could only watch as the little hornet got farther and farther away from them, and soon disappeared from their sight, but they still had to catch up at full speed. Chapter 33 Give me a proposition, enter Wuhan City. Miss Bibi Dong, the scenery below is very beautiful from here. Don't miss it. On the little hornet, Ah Yin reminded Bibi Dong with a smile. Seeing the very excited Bibi Dong, Ah Yin remembered the first time he rode the little hornet. At that time, she was just as excited as Bibi Dong is now. She immediately let down all her vigilance against Bibi Dong and shared it with Bibi Dong sincerely. Is it? Upon hearing Ah Yin's reminder, Bibi Dong immediately stuck out her head and looked at the green mountains and green waters below. Wow! It's really beautiful. Bibi Dong looked through the hazy white clouds at the green mountains and green waters below that seemed to have shrunk in size, as if she were seeing a natural painting. She couldn't help but praise. Bibi Dong didn't expect that just by changing the angle, the scenery she saw would be so different. The green mountains, green waters, and ordinary roads that usually looked ordinary, now looked so beautiful. The view down here is really beautiful from up here, but no matter how beautiful this scenery is, it is still not 1/10,000th as beautiful as yours. It's an honor to fly with you. Long Xiaoyao smiled and sincerely praised Ah Yin and Bibi Dong Dao while driving the little hornet. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's praise, Ah Yin showed a sweet smile. Although she often heard Long Xiaoyao praise her, she never got tired of hearing it and was very happy every time. Thank you Mr. Long for your compliment. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's praise, Bibi Dong raised the corners of her mouth slightly and thanked him with a smile. Bibi Dong is very confident in her appearance and figure. She feels that Ah Yin's appearance, figure, and especially his noble temperament are on par with hers. She thinks that Long Xiaoyao's compliment is not wrong, so she fully agrees with Long Xiaoyao's compliment. Young Master Long is also very handsome. He is the most handsome of all the men I have ever seen. The scenery below is not even 1/10,000th as good as yours. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong blushed and sincerely praised Long Xiaoyao in a soft voice. During this period, she kept staring at Long Xiaoyao's profile, deeply attracted. Oh, really? I didn't expect that I am so handsome. Ha ha ha! Hearing Bibi Dong's compliment, Long Xiaoyao laughed happily, very happily. Really handsome. Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao's smiling profile and felt that Long Xiaoyao looked even more handsome when he laughed. Seeing Long Xiaoyao and Bibi Dong chatting and laughing, Ah Yin suddenly became jealous, and her cheeks bulged with anger. Long Xiaoyao, who do you think is more beautiful, me or Miss Bibi Dong? Ah Yin asked Long Xiaoyao with a smile. Wakao, this is a gift question. Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised when he heard Ah Yin's question. He had thought that he would be asked such a question sooner or later, but he did not expect that Ah Yin would ask him such a question. Could it be that because I chatted too much with Miss Bibi Dong, Ah Yin became jealous? That's why you asked me this question. Looking at Ah Yin's smile, Long Xiaoyao guessed that Ah Yin was probably jealous. But instead of being angry, Long Xiaoyao was very happy. Because Ah Yin is usually gentle and rarely gets angry, but this kind of Ah Yin is actually angry for him, which means that Ah Yin has him in his heart, so how can he not be happy? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin's pretty face turned slightly red. But she did not give up. She stared straight at Long Xiaoyao, making sure that Long Xiaoyao told him who was more beautiful, between her and Bibi Dong. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bibi Dong felt a little guilty. Ah Yin kindly reminded her to see the beautiful scenery, but she actually wanted to snatch Long Xiaoyao from Ah Yin. But Bibi Dong didn't intend to give up Long Xiaoyao. She felt that she was worthy of Long Xiaoyao. Even though she was a little cruel, she still wanted to compete with Ah Yin. She was also staring at Long Xiaoyao, waiting for Long Xiaoyao's answer. She also wanted to know who was more beautiful between her and Ah Yin in Long Xiaoyao's eyes. Ah Yin's beauty is elegant and noble, and Miss Bibi Dong's beauty is sexy and charming. You are both more beautiful than gods, and I can't help but be attracted to you, but your beauty is completely different. Each has its own strengths and characteristics. It's hard to tell them apart. I can't say which of you is more beautiful. I can only say that you are the most beautiful women we have ever seen. If anyone can marry you, it must be a blessing that has been cultivated in 8 lifetimes. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said sincerely. This was also his inner thought. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were both very happy when they heard Long Xiaoyao's answer. They couldn't help but raise the corners of their mouths, showing happy smiles. They felt that Long Xiaoyao was right, and no longer asked which of them was more beautiful in Long Xiaoyao's eyes. Miss Bibi Dong, can you tell me in Ah Yin what fun and delicious food there are in Wuhan City? Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao asked Bibi Dong, and Bibi Dong also introduced Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin without any concealment. Old ghost, that little wasp is too fast. Long Xiaoyao and Miss Ah Yin should not be harmful to Her Highness the Saint. Otherwise, we should go back slowly. I am almost exhausted. No. The identities of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin cannot be determined yet. We must catch up. Oh. Just wait for me." At the same time, Gui Mei and Yu Guan were chasing Little Hornet with all their strength, but they didn't even see Little Hornet's shadow. 3 hours later, the sun sets in the west, at the entrance to the Wuhan city gate. "What is that? There seems to be someone up there." The people and guards at the entrance were shocked when they saw the little wasp falling from the sky. They didn't know why the little wasp fell from the sky, and they ollied to one side, leaving a large open space for the little wasp to land. "Follow me," the captain of the guard team ordered. The guards and the team leader immediately surrounded the little hornets per landing point, so that if the person inside was an enemy, they could be caught immediately. Gradually, under everyone's gaze, Little Hornet fell to the ground. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong opened the car doors almost at the same time and walked out separately. Long Xiaoyao took back the Little Hornet, came to Yin's side, and took Ah Yin's jade hand. Ah Yin felt the hugeness and warmth of Long Xiaoyao's palm, and smiled happily. Her pretty face flushed slightly. She had never been held by Long Xiaoyao in front of so many people. Bibi Dong was very envious when she saw Long Xiaoyao holding Ah Yin's hand. "Your Highness," after discovering Bibi Dong, everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that the person coming out of the Little Hornet would be Bibi Dong. And there would also be Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. "See Her Royal Highness." Immediately afterwards, everyone bowed down and bowed respectfully to Bibi Dong. Exemption. Bibi Dong puffed up her chest and said with dignity, "Thank you, Your Majesty the Holy Maiden." Then people put down their hands and raised their heads, observing Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. They all wanted to know who Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were, what their relationship was with Bibi Dong, and why Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong came down from the Little Hornets together. But Bibi Dong was the Holy Maiden of Wuhan Palace, and her status were much higher than them, so they didn't dare to ask. "You, take my gold card, take Mr. Long and Miss Yin to the Rose Hotel, help them get the best room, and let the hotel prepare the best food for them. All expenses will be charged to my account. After opening it, just give my gold card to Master Long. I will get it back myself." Bibi Dong took out her gold card, casually extended it to a guard next to her, and ordered. "Yes," the guard replied respectfully, then stretched out his hands and respectfully took Bibi Dong's gold card from Bibi Dong's hand. "Mr. Long, Miss Yin, it's getting late. You should rest early. I will go back to Wuhun Hall to see the master. I will go find you tomorrow, and then I will take you to various places in Wuhan City to have fun." Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong smiled and said to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, which was in sharp contrast to the attitude and tone when talking to the guards just now. "Okay, we'll wait for you at the Rose Hotel tomorrow," Long Xiaoyao replied with a smile. "It is good," Bibi Dong nodded, and then looked at the guard just now. "Master Long, Miss Yin, please come with me," the guard said to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin understandingly, with a very respectful attitude. Under the leadership of the guards, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin walked to the Rose Hotel, while Bibi Dong returned to Wuhun Hall alone. "Who are Mr. Long and Miss Yin?" "They actually came down from the sky with Her Highness the Saint, and Her Highness the Saint is so friendly towards them, and Her Royal Highness the Saint spent a lot of money and personally arranged for them to stay at the most luxurious Rose Hotel in Wuhan City. Her Royal Highness even said that she would take them to play in Wuhan City tomorrow." Could it be said that young Master Long and Miss Yin are family members of Her Royal Highness the Saint? "No, Your Highness the Saint is an orphan. I think they should be good friends of Her Highness the Saint. Otherwise, how could Her Highness be so kind to them?" After Long Xiaoyao and others left, people began to speculate about the identities of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong entered Wuhan City, and the news that Bibi Dong was very good to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin spread throughout Wuhan City. Now everyone in Wuhan City is speculating on the identities of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, and why they are treated so kindly and friendly by Bibi Dong. Chapter 34 The Nervous Master. One room is enough. In a restaurant, on a table, a very ordinary-looking man wearing a black robe, with a beard on his face, and a short haircut was eating while checking and studying the information about Wuhan and improving his top 10 core competitiveness theory. He is the famous Dashu who will be famous in the future and is said to be invincible in theory. Oh, no, it's Master Yu Xiaogang. Soul Master A, hey, have you heard? Her Royal Highness the Saint has returned to Wuhan City. Soul Master B, really? Did Her Highness the Saint go to the Killing City for less than 2 years? She came back so soon. Soul Master C, Of course Her Royal Highness the Saint has completed the test of the killing city. Soul Master B, Your Highness the Saint is so amazing. Think about Tang Hao, the most talented disciple of the Haitian sect back then. It took him 4 years to come out of the killing land. Doesn't that mean Her Royal Highness the Saint's talent is higher than Tang Hao's talent? Soul Master D, of course, Her Highness the Saint's talent is the best in the history of our spirit hall. She is of course much better than Tang Hao. At the table next to Yuena Gang, the 4 soul masters who came to eat had just ordered their meals and immediately started chatting about the important events that had spread throughout Wuhun City. Of course Bibi Dong is amazing, she has been carefully taught by me. Hearing the comments from the people next to him, Yuena Gang showed a proud smile. In order to hold Bibi Dong's fi, he spent a lot of energy. First, he used his wisdom to help Bibi Dong become stronger. In order to make Bibi Dong become dependent on him, he also further made Bibi Dong he fell in love. I have to go back quickly. Bibi Dong should come to the information department to find me soon. Yuena Gang closed the book and ate faster. He believed that after Bibi Dong returned to Wuhan City, he would definitely come to the information department to find him as soon as possible and ask him for advice on how to best practice next. After 2 years of not seeing each other, Bibi Dong must have become even more beautiful and sexy. Thinking of Bibi Dong, whom he hadn't seen for a long time, and feeling that Bibi Dong must have become sexier and more mature, Yuena Gang showed a silly smile, a bit unscrupulous. Soul Master A showed a mysterious smile. This is not the point. Do you know who Her Royal Highness the Saint came back with? Soul Master B, aren't they Elder Ghost and Elder Yu? Oh, Soul Master C and D nodded. Soul Master A, no, Your Highness the Saint came back with young Master Long and Miss Yin, Mr. Long? Miss Yin, Soul Masters B, C, and D all had question marks on their faces. Yuena Gang, who was eavesdropping next door, also had a question mark on his face. Who are Mr. Long and Miss Yin? Why have I never heard of these 2 characters? Soul Master B asked. Soul Master C and D both looked at Soul Master A curiously. Yuena Gang next door stopped eating and pricked up his ears, waiting for Soul Master A's answer. Yuena Gang was a little panicked for some reason, always having an ominous premonition. We don't know yet, but the relationship between young Master Long and Miss Yin and Her Royal Highness the Saint is definitely extraordinary. Her Royal Highness the Saint even personally spent money to arrange for them to stay at the Rose Hotel. Her Royal Highness the Saint also said she would go find them tomorrow and take them to Wuhan City to have a good time. I was at the scene just now, and I saw Mr. Long and Miss Yin with my own eyes. Miss Yin is a great beauty. No matter in appearance or figure, she is not inferior to Her Highness the Saint, and Mr. Long is very handsome, so handsome that I can't describe it in words. He is the most handsome man I have ever seen. To be honest, even I am a little moved. Having said this, Soul Master A showed an unusual smile. Seriously, how can there be a woman as beautiful as Her Majesty the Saint? Is that Mr. Long really that handsome? Soul Masters B, C, and D didn't quite believe it, because in their minds, Bibi Dong was the most beautiful, and no woman could be as beautiful as Bibi Dong. Who are Mr. Long and Miss Yin? How could Bibi Dong be so nice to them? Yuena Gang became even more panicked. He had never seen Bibi Dong treat others so well. Even after all the hard work, he has never had a meal with Bibi Dong, let alone been invited by Bibi Dong, and has never even gone shopping with Bibi Dong. Now he feels more and more uneasy. Of course it's true. If you don't believe me, go and ask outside. Now it's spread throughout Wuhan City, Soul Master A said confidently. Seeing how confident Soul Master A was, the others believed his words. Then do you know who Mr. Long and Miss Yin are from Her Royal Highness the Saint? Soul Master B asked very curiously. Soul Master C and D also looked at Soul Master A curiously. Yuena Gang next door also pricked up his ears. We don't know yet, but I can tell you my guess. Soul Master A showed a gossipy smile and lowered his voice a lot. According to my observation, Mr. Long and Miss Yin should be a couple, and Her Royal Highness the Saint is definitely interested in Mr. Long. Her attitude towards Mr. Long is simply too girly, just like those little girls who like me, and Her Royal Highness the Saint even gave her gold card to Mr. Long custody. In my opinion, Her Royal Highness the Saint should be planning to take the initiative to take Mr. Long away from Miss Yin, Soul Master A said very confidently. Bibi Dong is mine, and I won't let anyone take her away, otherwise all my hard work will be in vain. As soon as Soul Master A finished speaking, Xiaoyao couldn't sit still anymore. He didn't bother to eat, so he took the books and materials and walked out of the hotel and walked to Wuhun Hall, intending to find Bibi Dong. Meanwhile, the front desk of the Rose Hotel. Mr. Long, Miss Yin, do you want to rent one room? Or two rooms? The guard asked Long Xiaoyao and Yin that he was not sure about the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Yin, and he did not dare to ask Long Xiaoyao and Yin, so he could only ask for their opinions. Yin was the first to answer, then lowered his head, holding Long Xiaoyao's hand tightly. His pretty face turned red. Just now at the entrance of Wuhan City, Yin saw Bibi Dong's very majestic look. She knew that apart from meeting Long Xiaoyao more than half a month before Bibi Dong, there was no other advantage. Therefore, in order to prevent Long Xiaoyao from being snatched away by Bibi Dong, Yin became more determined to take the initiative, and just opening a room was the first step. What is Yin planning to do? Could it be that she was worried that I would be snatched away by Bibi Dong and wanted to take the initiative? Looking at Yin's appearance, Long Xiaoyao was very surprised. He found that since meeting Bibi Dong, Yin had taken a lot of initiative. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Yin became even more shy. Her pretty face was as red as a ripe apple, making people salivate. Just open one, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Yin took such initiative, it was too late for him to be happy, so how could he object? Immediately afterwards, the guard asked the front desk clerk to open a room and asked him to prepare the best food for Long Xiaoyao and Yin. Then the guard handed Bibi Dong's gold card to Long Xiaoyao and left alone. Long Xiaoyao and Yin entered the best room in the Rose Hotel under the leadership of the waiter. The decoration of the room is very gorgeous, mainly pink, with many roses scattered in the middle and around it, and the atmosphere is very romantic. The bed is extremely big. Mr. Long, Miss Yin, a waiter will come over from the restaurant later. You guys have a good rest, the waiter said with a smile. Long Xiaoyao nodded. The waiter closed the door directly. Long Xiaoyao, I'm going to take a shower first, you sit down for a while, Yin said with a pretty face, and then walked into the bathroom and closed the door without waiting for Long Xiaoyao's answer. Alice. It seems that I have thought too much. Long Xiaoyao originally wanted to confess his love to Yin in such a romantic room and then deepen his relationship. After all, he had not confessed to Yin yet. But Long Xiaoyao didn't expect Yin to go directly to take a bath. In desperation, Long Xiaoyao had no choice but to sit down on the sofa and wait quietly. An hour and a half passed quickly. The waiter had already delivered the food, but Yin had not come out of the bathroom yet. Why hasn't Yin come out after so long? Long Xiaoyao had a big fight not long ago and has been driving since then. Now looking at the food on the table, he is very hungry and a little impatient. Long Xiaoyao was very puzzled. Yin usually didn't take so long to take a bath. Why did it take so long today? Squeak. Just then, the bathroom door opened. Great, you're finally out and we can eat. Oh who? Long Xiaoyao looked at Yin. He just wanted to ask Yin to come over for dinner, but before he finished speaking, he couldn't help but let out a sigh. Then he stared at Yin with his eyes wide open, the blood in his body began to boil, and his breathing gradually accelerated. Long Xiaoyao discovered that Yin was not wearing a dress at this moment. Although it was still blue and gold, the style was completely different from the dress he usually wore. First of all, there was a lot less fabric, at least 3 times less, which not only exposed the white jade arms, sexy collarbones, bottomless R groove, but also exposed the slender jade legs. Moreover, the dress is also translucent, and the sexy body and underwear are looming, like seeing flowers through a fog. The jade legs were also put on long white stockings with lace, reaching up to the upper half of the thighs, leaving only a small area of absolute territory, which was very sexy and attractive. Coupled with Yin's flawless and pretty face, her curvy figure, and her extremely shy yet calm expression, she looks extremely sexy and endearing. Long Xiaoyao. How are you? Am I sexy? Yin asked shyly and nervously. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 35 and number 039, welcome. Sexy, very sexy, extra sexy. Long Xiaoyao stood up immediately and nodded in affirmation. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's words and saw Long Xiaoyao looking at her blankly. She couldn't help but raise the corners of her mouth, showing a happy and charming smile, and she looked even more charming. Long Xiaoyao looked at Ah Yin, the blood in his body boiled even more, and he felt a special impulse. How about compared to Bibi Dong? Who is sexier, me or her? Ah Yin asked shyly and expectantly, staring closely into Long Xiaoyao's eyes. Of course you're sexier, Long Xiaoyao blurted out immediately. This was also his true thoughts at the moment. Ah Yin's looks and figure were already on par with Bibi Dong's. Now Ah Yin's clothes are more bold and revealing than Bibi Dong's. Although not as cool as Bibi Dong, Ah Yin's charming appearance has a unique flavor, even more so than Bibi Dong's. East is more attractive degrees. Ah Yin heard that Long Xiaoyao said that she was sexier than Bibi Dong without even thinking about it. She was extremely happy and smiled sweetly, feeling that the hour and a half of hard work was worth it. It seems that Ah Yin was really worried that I would be snatched away by Miss Bibi Dong, so she not only offered to stay in the same room with me, but also specially dressed up to look even sexier than Bibi Dong. Seeing Ah Yin smile, thinking of Ah Yin's question just now, and the cute behavior of Ah Yin since meeting Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao guessed that Ah Yin must be worried that Bibi Dong would steal him away. Long Xiaoyao smiled. He felt very happy. He knew that Ah Yin was very reserved. Since Ah Yin could do this for him, he must have been all about him in his heart. He was worried that Bibi Dong would snatch him away, so he let go reserved. Long Xiaoyao was very moved. He knew that Ah Yin must have mustered up a lot of courage to dress like this, so he suppressed his special impulse. Ah Yin felt even more shy and her pretty face turned redder when she heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, but she also felt happier, because Long Xiaoyao also felt that she was sexier than Bibi Dong in his heart. Ah Yin, although you are sexier than Miss Bibi Dong, I only allow you to dress like this in front of me and not in front of others. Do you hear me? Long Xiaoyao walked towards Ah Yin, looked into Ah Yin's eyes, and said softly but sternly. Ah Yin nodded like a chicken pecking at rice. But we are two alone, in a closed room, and you dare to dress like this. Aren't you afraid of what I will do to you? Long Xiaoyao deliberately showed an evil smile in wolf-like eyes, and said to Ah Yin with a smile. He wanted to scare Ah Yin, otherwise Ah Yin would always dress like this in the future, and he might really be unable to bear it one day. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words and looking at Long Xiaoyao's eyes and smile, Ah Yin started to panic a little, but also became a little expectant. She lowered her head shyly, not daring to look directly into Long Xiaoyao's eyes. If you want it, I will, Ah Yin said in a low voice. The further he spoke, the quieter his voice became. The last word was almost inaudible. However, there were no other sound sources in the room, and Long Xiaoyao heard them clearly. Seeing Ah Yin lowering her head in shyness and seeing Ah Yin's sexy look, Long Xiaoyao's blood that had finally stabilized began to boil again. What? Without saying a word, Long Xiaoyao directly picked up Ah Yin in a princess hug. Ah Yin was startled and couldn't help but make a blood-boiling sound. It smells so good. It's so soft. Since you have said so, then I will not be polite. Long Xiaoyao took a deep breath of the fragrance of Ah Yin, felt the softness of Ah Yin's body, smiled, and said to Ah Yin with a smile, and then without waiting for Ah Yin's reply, he carried Ah Yin directly to the big bed. Long Xiaoyao knew that Ah Yin was very shy and reserved, but now that Ah Yin has said this, if he doesn't fall in love, is he still a man? Of course he's going to do it. Long Xiaoyao knew that it must be because of Bibi Dong's appearance that Ah Yin felt uneasy, so Ah Yin took such initiative. So whether it was to reassure Ah Yin or for himself, he should go. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, she lay in Long Xiaoyao's arms and felt the warmth from Long Xiaoyao. Seeing that the bed was getting closer and closer, Ah Yin felt a little nervous, a little excited, a little scared, and a little nervous. After a while, Long Xiaoyao carried Ah Yin to the bed and carefully placed Ah Yin on the bed. Then without waiting for Ah Yin to react, Long Xiaoyao directly pressed Ah Yin's shoulders, pressed Ah Yin onto the bed, aimed at Ah Yin's jade mouth, and kissed her directly. Okay, Ah Yin, who was unprepared, couldn't help but let out a blood-boiling moan, but she didn't resist. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin suddenly lit up with sacred white light, illuminating the entire room. P.S. Holy light mosaic for short. Soon after, the whole room reverberated with an endless stream of exciting sounds. At the same time, at the Wuhun Hall, the gate of Bibi Dong's residence, After a lot of hard work, Yu Xiaogang finally reached the gate of Bibi Dong's residence, but was stopped by the guards. I am the deacon of the information department. I have something urgent to do with Her Majesty the Saint. Please let me in. Yu Xiaogang once again took out his identity token and said with a particularly anxious look, Her Royal Highness the Saint has said that she has something important to do now. She won't see anyone tonight. You'd better come back tomorrow, one of the guards snapped. I'm really in a hurry. Go in and inform Her Majesty the Saint, saying that Yu Xiaogang has something to ask for, and Her Majesty the Saint will definitely let me in. Yu Xiaogang still refused to give up and said with great certainty that he believed that Bibi Dong would definitely meet him as soon as he heard that it was him. Yu Xiaogang? Deacon of the information department, do not know. The guard looked at Yu Xiaogang's identity token carefully and shook his head. Before Bibi Dong went to the killing city, he often asked Yu Xiaogang about Wuhan. Moreover, Bibi Dong and Yu Xiaogang only met in the information department of Wuhun Hall. The guards didn't even know that Bibi Dong knew each other. Yu Xiaogang. Moreover, Yu Xiaogang has a higher position in the information department and has access to all the Soul Master information collected by Wuhan Palace. It is also because of Bibi Dong's help. Her Royal Highness the Saint has given us a death order, even if there is something big happening under the Pope's crown. You, a small deacon of the information department, still want to see Her Royal Highness? I advise you to leave quickly, otherwise we will not be polite. The guard warned Yu Xiaogang sternly again. Looking like he was about to take action. Bibi Dong had just given a death order to the guards. If they dared to let anyone in, they would be doomed. Of course they would not let Yu Xiaogang in. What urgent matter does Bibi Dong have? In desperation, Yu Xiaogang could only retreat while thinking hard about what Bibi Dong was doing. By the way, the god of death domain is very difficult to control and can easily affect other people's minds. Bibi Dong must be controlling the god of death domain. I have to come over early tomorrow to suggest the next best way to practice for Bibi Dong, so that she can completely rely on me. After thinking about it, Yu Xiaogang felt that Bibi Dong must be controlling the god of killing domain, so he made up his mind to go back tonight to think of the best training method for Bibi Dong and help Bibi Dong quickly control the god of killing domain, so that she can win Bibi Dong's heart, and we can't drag it on any longer. At the same time, in Bibi Dong's room. At this moment, Bibi Dong's entire body, including her head, was soaked in a large bathtub covered with fresh rose petals. She wanted to completely get rid of the bloody smell that she had contracted in the killing city for a long time. Because Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao say in her heart before that the smell of blood on her body was very strong, she thought that Long Xiaoyao didn't like the smell of blood on her body, so she came to take a bath just after returning to Wuhun Hall. He didn't even go to see Jin's Unji. After holding in the bubbles for another 10 minutes, Bibi Dong put her head out of the water again, and then put her jade white hands out of the water, put it in front of her nose, and smelled it carefully. No, there's still a strong smell of blood. Bibi Dong shook her head. Xiao, go pick 5 more pounds of fresh rose petals, Bibi Dong shouted towards the door. Your Majesty, the roses in the garden have been picked and there are no more. Xiaoyu's voice came from outside the door. Then go out and buy it. Remember to ask for fresh ones, 5 pounds, oh no, buy as much as you can, hurry up, Bibi Dong shouted loudly. Yes, I'll go right now. After hearing Bibi Dong's words, Xiao didn't dare to be negligent and ran to buy roses. I must completely get rid of the smell of blood on my body. Bibi Dong was soaked in the bucket again. Chapter 36 Love Breakfast, Looking for Disease. 3 hours later, it was almost 12 o'clock in the morning, and it was almost time for the gates of Wuhan City to close. At this time, except for the guards standing guard, no one could be seen at the gate of Wuhan City, and the environment was very quiet. Boom. Boom. Suddenly 2 loud noises broke the original tranquility. Because it was too dark, the guards couldn't see who was making the noise, so they all became alert and stared at the source of the sound. After a while, Gui Mei and Yu Guan walked towards the city gate while breathing heavily from the darkness. At this time, Gui Mei and Yu Guan were sweating profusely and looked very tired. This is understandable, after all, they had been flying at full speed for more than 7 hours, and they had almost exhausted their soul power and physical strength. It turns out to be Elder Ghost and Elder Yu. Greetings to Elder Ghost, and respecting Elder Yu. After seeing clearly who the visitor was and Gui Mei and Yu Guan, the guards immediately saluted Gui Mei and Yu Guan. Has Your Royal Highness the Saint returned? Not caring about resting, the ghost immediately asked the guards. Her Royal Highness the Saint is back and has returned to Wuhun Palace, the guard team leader replied. Look, I just said that Long Xiaoyao and Miss Ah Yin will not harm Her Highness the Saint. Why do you have to fly back at full speed? I am almost exhausted. Hearing the guard's answers, Yu Guan gasped and complained that he had never been so tired. What about Mr. Long Xiaoyao and Miss Ah Yin? Are they the man and woman who came back with Her Royal Highness the Saint? Gui Mei ignored Yu Guan and asked again. He had witnessed Long Xiaoyao's strength and Ah Yin's strength with his own eyes. Long Xiaoyao was a twin martial soul, and he was a soul Douluo, but he could kill the old title Douluo, the great elder of the Haoshan sect. Although Ah Yin is not as powerful as Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin is able to instantly control more than a dozen soul saints and soul Douluo from the Haoshan sect with a level 56 and a useless martial spirit like Lan Yin Xiao. His strength is definitely not that great generally. Especially the relationship between Ah Yin and Long Xiaoyao is unusual. Of course, their Wuhan Palace must try their best to win over Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Therefore, the ghost needs to know where Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin are now, and cannot neglect Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Her Royal Highness the Saint has sent people to take Mr. Long and Miss Ah Yin to the Rose Hotel to help Mr. Long Xiaoyao and Miss Ah Yin book the best rooms, the squad leader replied. Ghost nodded. Old Jehua, let's go see His Majesty the Pope. As soon as he finished speaking, Gui Mei set out to see Jin's Unji, intending to report the affairs of Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin to Jin's Unji. Old ghost, wait for me. Yu Guan couldn't care less about rest and once again kept up with the ghost's footsteps. At the same time, the room where Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were still filled with sacred white light. Bibi Dong was still taking a bath in the bucket, trying to remove the smell of blood from her body. Yu Xiaogang was looking through the information, looking for training methods that could help Bibi Dong stabilize the realm of the god of killing, hoping to make Bibi Dong completely fall in love with him and win Bibi Dong's heart. It was hard for Yu Xiao to find Bibi Dong who believed in his theory. Was a little silly, and was very easy to deceive. The most important thing was that Bibi Dong was not only more beautiful than a fairy, but also had a very high status. If Yu Xiaogang could make Bibi Dong fall in love with him and be willing to marry him, or if he could get in the door, he would be able to turn around. Of course, he would have to put in a lot of effort. Around 7:30 the next morning, Ah Yin woke up from his sleep in a daze and subconsciously reached out to the left. Long Xiaoyao? What? Unable to touch Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin suddenly panicked and wanted to sit up to see where Long Xiaoyao had gone, but she felt so much pain in her waist and lower body that she could not sit up. You're awake. Long Xiaoyao immediately rushed to the bed. I'm so sorry. It was my first time last night and I was a little too impulsive. Looking at Ah Yin who looked a little pale and haggard, Long Xiaoyao felt a little distressed and showed an embarrassed smile. Seeing Long Xiaoyao and hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin remembered what happened last night, and her pretty face suddenly turned red. Don't worry, I promise I will pay attention to it in the future, Long Xiaoyao said confidently. I nodded. I have carefully prepared a loving breakfast for you. It is all for the body. I will take you to eat it, Long Xiaoyao said softly. After helping Ah Yin get dressed, he hugged Ah Yin directly. Long Xiaoyao directly carried Ah Yin to the table filled with sumptuous breakfast and asked Ah Yin to sit on the sofa. So much food. Did you cook all this for me yourself? Ah Yin was very moved when he saw a large table full of delicacies for replenishing the body, such as stewed chicken in clear soup hot pot, boiled eggs, boiled carp in clear soup hot pot, fried lean meat, etc. Because Ah Yin had seen Long Xiaoyao make these delicious dishes, she knew that each dish required a lot of time and energy to make. She knew that Long Xiaoyao must have spent a lot of time preparing this table of delicious dishes. Long Xiaoyao nodded, then personally picked up a large piece of fish meat for Ah Yin and brought it to Ah Yin's mouth. Come, no, I can do it myself. Ah Yin was a little embarrassed and waved his hand, wanting to eat it by himself. Be good and be obedient, Long Xiaoyao said with a gentle smile, but very firmly. What? Ah Yin felt extremely happy that Long Xiaoyao cared about her. She no longer refused, took it directly into her mouth and started chewing it. Is it tasty? Long Xiaoyao asked with a smile. Well, it's delicious, Ah Yin nodded while chewing. It's delicious, then have another piece. Long Xiaoyao picked up another piece of fish and handed it to Yin's mouth. Gollum. Ah Yin quickly swallowed the fish in his mouth, then picked up the chopsticks, picked up a piece of fish, and handed it to Long Xiaoyao's mouth. "Don't let me eat alone, you eat too," Ah Yin said with a smile. "Let's eat together." What? Half an hour later, the Wuhan Palace and the Pope Palace. Jin Zhenji, wearing a golden papal robe, was sitting on a papal throne, with Bibi Dong standing directly below. "Donger, you don't need to say anything anymore. Elder Guin Elder, you already told me last night. I already know everything. You are responsible for wooing Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin with all your strength, and strive to let them join Wuhun Hall. No matter what their requirements are, I can try my best to satisfy them. For talents like Long Xiaoyao, our Wuhan Palace is the place where they can show their talents," Jin Zhenji said with dignity. "Thank you, teacher." Hearing Jin Zhenji's words, Bibi Dong was extremely happy. "Teacher, I'll leave now." Chihiro nodded quickly. Bibi Dong turned around with a smile and walked out of the Pope's palace. Jin Zhenji looked at Bibi Dong's back, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, revealing an intriguing smile. As soon as Bibi Dong walked out of the Pope's palace, the ghost quietly appeared below. "Elder Ghost, keep an eye on Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Before finding out their origins, they must not be allowed to leave Wuhan City," Jin Zhenji ordered. Yes, as soon as he finished speaking, the ghost disappeared from the place, leaving only a strange black smoke. With a level 85 level, he can instantly kill the level 93 Great Elder of the Haoshan sect. He also has twin martial souls that are higher than the Seraphim and the Haoshan Hammer. He can even help Donger control the Killing God domain, with a level 56 level, and a useless martial soul like Lan Yin Xiao. He can still control more than a dozen soul saints and soul Douluo from the Haoshan sect. "Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, who are you?" After the ghost left, Jin Zhenji murmured. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zhenji showed a sinister smile. "No matter who you are, if you are unwilling to join Wuhan Palace and cannot be used by me, then I will have to make you disappear completely and let your descendants be used by me." How? Chapter 37. The number 1 scumbag in Douluo continent? Just when Bibi Dong walked out of the spirit hall and headed to the Rose Hotel, Yu Xiaogang once again came to the door of Bibi Dong's residence with a cultivation method he had thought of that could help Bibi Dong stabilize the realm of the god of death. Once again, he was stopped by the guards at the door. "Please inform Her Majesty the Saint that Yu Xiaogang from the information department has something to ask for." Yu Xiaogang took out his identity token again and said to the guards with a smile, extremely confident. "You are late, Her Royal Highness the Saint has already gone out," a guard said calmly. "Out?" Yu Xiaogang was very shocked. He didn't expect Bibi Dong to go out so early. "Where did the Holy Lady go? How do I know?" "There is no need to report to me where the Holy Lady is going," the guard said impatiently. Where did Bibi Dong go? The frustrated Yu Xiaogang could only choose to leave, and at the same time he was also thinking about where Bibi Dong would go. Could it be that Bibi Dong has already gone to see Mr. Long and Miss Yin? Thinking of this, Yu Xiaogang immediately ran towards the Rose Hotel. About 10 minutes later, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin's room. At this time, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin had not only eaten breakfast, but had also finished washing and put on new clothes. Long Xiaoyao was as handsome as ever, with an unparalleled temperament, giving people the feeling that this person should only exist in heaven. Ah Yin is still as noble and elegant as ever, more beautiful than a fairy, but she has a bit more sexiness and maturity of a woman, making her look even more charming. "Ah Yin, you are so beautiful." Looking at Ah Yin, Long Xiaoyao said sincerely. "Don't worry, I will definitely make you happy." Long Xiaoyao took Ah Yin's hand and said seriously. Ah Yin smiled brightly and nodded heavily. Looking at Ah Yin who was smiling, Long Xiaoyao gently pressed Ah Yin's chin, raised Ah Yin's head slightly, and kissed Ah Yin's forehead. Feeling Long Xiaoyao's care, Ah Yin showed a happy smile. Boom boom boom. At this moment, there was a knock on the door. "Please come in." After letting go of Ah Yin's forehead, Long Xiaoyao took Ah Yin's jade hand, and then said loudly to the door. Squeak. The door was pushed open and Bibi Dong walked in. "Morning, Miss Bibi Dong." Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin greeted Bibi Dong enthusiastically. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao held Ah Yin's jade hand and walked towards Bibi Dong. "Good morning, Mr. Long, Miss Ah Yin." Bibi Dong also responded with a smile, as expected of Bibi Dong. She looks sexy no matter what she wears, especially the black stockings. "It's so charming." Long Xiaoyao looked at Bibi Dong, a little surprised by Bibi Dong. He found that Bibi Dong's clothes today were a little different from yesterday. Bibi Dong was wearing a purple and gold dress with lace, which covered the knees of her legs and the wrists of her hands. It fit perfectly and vividly showed off her curvy figure. The exposed calves are covered with black stockings and purple gold high-heeled shoes. While looking sexy and charming, they are also a bit more mature, noble, cool and charming, making people feel that they can only watch from a distance, but dare not play with them. A feeling of Bibi Dong was very happy to hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. She felt that it was worth spending more than 2 hours choosing clothes and dressing carefully this morning. Very sexy indeed. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Ah Yin agreed in her heart. She didn't have much hostility towards Bibi Dong now because she was already Long Xiaoyao's woman, and she was also Long Xiaoyao's first woman. Ah Yin knew that in Douluo continent, human men could have 3 wives and 4 concubines, and powerful soul beasts could have groups of wives and concubines, not to mention that Long Xiaoyao was also an auspicious beast, the emperor among soul beasts. So Ah Yin doesn't care too much about Long Xiaoyao seeing other women now, nor does she care whether Long Xiaoyao will find another woman, because she knows that there is already a place for her in Long Xiaoyao's heart. But Bibi Dong is still not as sexy as Ah Yin last night. Thinking of Ah Yin's appearance last night, the corners of Long Xiaoyao's mouth raised slightly. Ah Yin felt very happy when she heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and showed a happy smile. Not as sexy as Ah Yin last night. Did something happen last night? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bibi Dong unconsciously looked at Ah Yin. Seeing Ah Yin's walking posture that was slightly different from yesterday, she felt an ominous premonition and felt a little sour in her heart. Because Bibi Dong was sure that what Ah Yin was wearing now was definitely not as sexy as hers. She guessed that what Ah Yin was wearing last night was definitely not what she was wearing now. Moreover, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin still lived in the same room. Bibi Dong felt that something must have happened between Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin last night. "Miss Bibi Dong, have you had breakfast?" Long Xiaoyao asked with a smile. He didn't expect Bibi Dong to come so early. He was worried that Bibi Dong hadn't had breakfast yet. "I've eaten, what about you?" Hearing Long Xiaoyao's question, Bibi Dong stopped thinking so much, nodded, and asked with a smile. "We ate too, then let's go to the Seoul Orchestra now, shall we? The Seoul Arena should be open by this time." Okay, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were both looking forward to it, because Bibi Dong told them yesterday that there were many fun facilities in the Seoul playground, and they both wanted to play there. "This is your gold card." Long Xiaoyao handed Bibi Dong's gold card to Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong took her gold card from Long Xiaoyao's and what a fragrant rose scent. The smell of blood on Bibi Dong's body was basically completely eliminated. "It's too fragrant." Long Xiaoyao was a little surprised when he smelled the strong fragrance of roses on Bibi Dong's body, but the smell of blood was almost gone. Of course. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Bibi Dong was very happy, and her heart was filled with joy. She suddenly felt that it was worth spending nearly 7 hours last night and consuming more than 20 kilograms of rose petals to get rid of the smell of blood on her body. "Let's go now," Bibi Dong said with a smile. "Your Highness the Saint, there is a deacon named Yu Xiaogang from the information department in the lobby. He said he has something urgent to see you." At this moment, a hotel waiter came to Bibi Dong and reported to Bibi Dong Yu Xiaogang, the #1 scumbag in Douluo continent. Oh no, he should be the #1 scumbag in Douluo continent. Scumbags describe those men who are very good in appearance, strength, financial resources, status, etc., except for not treating girls attentively. Yu Xiaogang doesn't have everything. He doesn't deserve the title of scumbag at all. Calling Yu Xiaogang a scumbag is an insult to those rich, handsome men who are also scumbags. If Yu Xiaogang hadn't deceived Bibi Dong and wanted to deceive Bibi Dong's heart so that Bibi Dong could ascend to power, Bibi Dong would not have been raped by Jin Zunji so quickly and become Jin Zunji's reproductive tool. When he heard that it was Yu Xiaogang who came to see Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao became a little angry. Long Xiaoyao knew that although Yu Xiaogang was weak in strength, he was definitely very smart and good at deceiving people. Otherwise, how could Bibi Dong, who is the saint of Wuhun Palace, fall in love with Yu Xiaogang, the abandoned son of the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family, and how could she let Tang Sen, the protagonist of 2 lifetimes, worship him as his disciple? Yu Xiaogang keeps saying that there is no useless martial spirit, only useless soul masters, so why doesn't he prove his words himself? Why not find a disciple with a useless martial spirit? When Yu Xiaogang tricked Tang San into becoming his disciple, he must have guessed that Tang San was a twin martial spirit. In addition to the blue-silver grass martial spirit, he must have a very powerful martial spirit. He must have also guessed that Tang San had twin martial spirits. San's blue-silver grass martial spirit is definitely not an ordinary blue-silver grass martial spirit. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao guessed that Yu Xiaogang must have wanted to deceive Bibi Dong and win Bibi Dong's heart, so that he could use Bibi Dong to reach the top of his life. After failure, he abandoned Bibi Dong and fled Wuhun City. Long Xiaoyao felt that Kang Ji was stronger than Bibi Dong, and it was definitely more than simply not wanting Bibi Dong to leave the spirit hall. Jin Zunji must have fallen in love with Bibi Dong a long time ago, otherwise Jin Zunji could have prevented Bibi Dong from leaving the spirit hall as long as he killed Yu Xiaogang quietly. Is Jin Zunji still afraid that the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family will find out about Wuhan Palace? Does Long Xiaoyao know Yu Xiaogang? Is Yu Xiaogang really as scumbag as Long Xiaoyao said? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Bibi Dong also began to think about Yu Xiaogang's situation, and found that Yu Xiaogang really had nothing as Long Xiaoyao said. Even Yu Xiaogang's current identity was given by her. Who is Yu Xiaogang? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Ah Yin expressed that she was confused. She didn't know Yu Xiaogang at all, but she believed what Long Xiaoyao said in his heart. Yu Xiaogang must be a scumbag. Chapter 38, Yu Xiaogang is envious, jealous and hates Long Xiaoyao. But now Bibi Dong has probably been deceived by Yu Xiaogang a long time ago, and has completely trusted Yu Xiaogang. Even if I told her Yu Xiaogang's purpose, she probably wouldn't believe it. I'd better go down with Bibi Dong and find a way to show Yu Xiaogang's true face to Bibi Dong. There is no description of the development of Bibi Dong and Yu Xiaogang in the original work. Long Xiaoyao doesn't know how far Yu Xiaogang has deceived Bibi Dong, so he has no choice but to follow Bibi Dong to meet this big boy. Long Xiaoyao cares about me so much? Could it be that he has fallen in love with me? After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Bibi Dong guessed that Long Xiaoyao might have fallen in love with her, and the corners of her mouth slightly raised, revealing a charming smile. Otherwise, why would Long Xiaoyao come back with her to unveil Jin Zunji's false mask for her? And now why did Long Xiaoyao go down with her to unveil Yu Xiaogang's false mask for her? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Ah Yin chose to silently support Long Xiaoyao because she wanted Bibi Dong to be able to recognize Yu Xiaogang's false face like her. What's his hurry? Bibi Dong calmly asked the waiter that she knew Long Xiaoyao would follow her to see Yu Xiaogang, and she wanted to see how Long Xiaoyao made Yu Xiaogang show his true form to her. Yu Xiaogang didn't say anything, but after he said that he wanted to see Her Highness the Saint, he told Her Highness the Saint in person, the waiter reports. Understood, Bibi Dong nodded, then turned to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Mr. Long, Miss Ah Yin, what do you think? Bibi Dong pretended not to hear Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and asked Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin for their opinions. Miss Bibi Dong, who is this Yu Xiaogang? Is he looking for you for some confidential matter? Long Xiaoyao asked with a smile. He needed to judge how far Yu Xiaogang had deceived Bibi Dong based on Bibi Dong's answer, so that he could think of countermeasures. Yu Xiaogang is the deacon in the information department of our Wuhun Hall. I saw that he has done a lot of research on Wuhan. I asked him questions about Wuhan and received some guidance from him, so I promoted him to become Wuhan. Just a steward of information, before entering the killing city, I had no contact with him. It shouldn't be a secret for him to find me. Bibi Dong explained to Long Xiaoyao simply and clearly that she didn't want Long Xiaoyao to think that she had a particularly good relationship with Yu Xiaogang, and she was worried that Long Xiaoyao would mind. It seems that Yu Xiaogang just deceived Bibi Dong and got into a position where he could view the information on soul masters across the continent collected by Wuhan Palace. He had not yet deceived Bibi Dong. After hearing Bibi Dong's words, Long Xiaoyao raised the corners of his mouth slightly and smiled. He was very lucky to have met Bibi Dong yesterday, otherwise Yu Xiaogang, the number one scumbag, would have deceived Bibi Dong's heart. What should Bibi Dong do? I asked Bibi Dong to be the host. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bibi Dong felt very happy knowing that Long Xiaoyao had not misunderstood her and Yu Xiaogang. Ah Yin heard Bibi Dong's words and Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, and was also happy for Bibi Dong. In that case, in order to save time, let's go there with you. You don't mind, right? Long Xiaoyao asked Bibi Dong with a smile. I don't mind, okay, Bibi Dong nodded, then turned to the waiter. You take us there, yes. Under the leadership of the waiter, the three people walked out of the room and went to the lobby. After a while, Long Xiaoyao and the others came to the lobby under the leadership of the waiter. They saw Yu Xiaogang from a distance, and Yu Xiaogang also noticed the Long Xiaoyao and the others. Bibi Dong has indeed become more sexy and charming. Is that a yin? He really doesn't lose to Bibi Dong. Yu Xiaogang looked at Bibi Dong and a yin walking towards him from a distance, and was instantly attracted to them. He showed an infatuated smile. With his stubble and wrinkled old face, he looked a little unbeatable. That is Yu Xiaogang, how dare you stare at Ah Yin and Bibi Dong with such lewd smiles, he is indeed a scumbag. Noticing Yu Xiaogang's expression, Long Xiaoyao became more certain of his guess. Long Xiaoyao walked directly from Ah Yin's left to Ah Yin and Bibi Dong, covering Yu Xiaogang's sight and preventing Yu Xiaogang from continuing to look at Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Ah Yin is already Long Xiaoyao's woman, and Bibi Dong is also the woman he likes. He doesn't allow Yu Xiaogang to look at Ah Yin and Bibi Dong like that. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice and seeing Long Xiaoyao's actual actions, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were very happy, showing happy smiles, and walked behind Long Xiaoyao. Who? Seeing Long Xiaoyao covering Ah Yin and Bibi Dong, Yu Xiaogang was very angry. He raised his head and looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was much taller than Ah Yin and Bibi Dong, very handsome. How could there be such a handsome man? Is he Mr. Long? Seeing Long Xiaoyao's handsome face and feeling Long Xiaoyao's extraordinary temperament, Yu Xiaogang was shocked, and at the same time he became even more uneasy. Because Yu Xiaogang knew that compared with Long Xiaoyao's appearance, one was in the sky and the other was 8,000 meters underground. There was no comparison between him and Long Xiaoyao. Snort, what's the use of being handsome? Your IQ must not be as high as mine, you must not be able to help Bibi Dong, and I will definitely not let you take Bibi Dong away from me. Yu Xiaogang looked at Long Xiaoyao, feeling very envious and jealous that Long Xiaoyao was not only handsome, but could also hold Ah Yin's hand, and even had an unusual relationship with Bibi Dong. He could only pray that Long Xiaoyao would be more than just his appearance. Nothing else is good. Otherwise, what would he do to compete with Long Xiaoyao over Bibi Dong? After a while, the waiter led Long Xiaoyao and the others to Yu Xiaogang, and then turned around. Your Highness the Saint, you have arrived, okay, you go down. Yes, Bibi Dong stood up from behind Long Xiaoyao and faced Yu Xiaogang. See Her Royal Highness, Yu Xiaogang saluted Bibi Dong. He was still just a young deacon, and his relationship with Bibi Dong was not very good. He needed to salute Bibi Dong when he saw her. Without courtesy, tell me, what urgent matter do you have for me? Bibi Dong asked Yu Xiaogang calmly, without any smile on his face, which was in sharp contrast when talking to Long Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong is a smart person. She knows Yu Xiaogang's background. She originally admired Yu Xiaogang's wisdom and felt that Yu Xiaogang did not give up on himself, so she had a good impression of Yu Xiaogang and even helped Yu Xiaogang. Let Yu Xiaogang check the information of all soul masters collected by Wuhun Palace. But just now Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao scolding Yu Xiaogang, and felt that Long Xiaoyao was right. Yu Xiaogang probably just wanted to use her to gain power, so she basically has no good impressions of Yu Xiaogang now, and even I feel that Yu Xiaogang is a little disgusting. Okay. Why is Bibi Dong so cold to me? Although Bibi Dong's attitude towards Yu Xiaogang was not close before, they were still like friends. Yu Xiaogang felt that Bibi Dong's attitude towards it now was very cold compared to before, and he was very shocked and felt that something was wrong. I know, it must be that Bibi Dong is still unable to control the God of Death domain, so he is so cold to me. I came at the right time. Yu Xiaogang felt that Bibi Dong must still be unable to control the God of Death domain, and he suddenly felt very good. Your Highness the Saint, what I want to tell you is very important and urgent to you. Can you please take a step to speak? Yu Xiaogang said with a smile that he believed Bibi Dong would agree, and he wanted Long Xiaoyao to know that Bibi Dong was his. You can just say it here. We also want to hear what you want to tell Bibi Dong. Maybe we can also help. Before Bibi Dong could speak, Long Xiaoyao spoke directly to Yu Xiaogang, and directly called Bibi Dong's name in order to deliberately stimulate Yu Xiaogang. Bibi Dong felt very happy when she heard Long Xiaoyao directly call her name. Ah Yin had seen Long Xiaoyao in front of him to stimulate Tang Hao and Tang Xiao. She knew that Long Xiaoyao directly called Bibi Dong's name to stimulate Yu Xiaogang, so Ah Yin did not feel displeased and even agreed with it. Who are you, who dare to call Her Royal Highness the Saint by her first name? I haven't even screamed. Yu Xiaogang was very unhappy, envious, jealous and hated Long Xiaoyao. He had worked hard for so long, you haven't even been able to call Bibi Dong by her first name yet. However, he was very smart and knew that since Long Xiaoyao dared to directly call Bibi Dong's name, so the relationship between Long Xiaoyao and Bibi Dong is definitely unusual. If he tells it, it will only make Bibi Dong unhappy with him. Then it will be even harder to deceive Bibi Dong. So Yu Xiaogang just expressed it in his heart and did not say it out loud. Chapter 39 Exposing Yu Xiaogang? His Royal Highness, with questioning eyes, Yu Xiaogang looked at Bibi Dong, seeking Bibi Dong's meaning. Just tell me. Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin are my good friends. It's okay for them to hear, Bibi Dong said with a smile, and she took the opportunity to also call Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin's names. Yes, hearing Bibi Dong also directly call Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin's names, Yu Xiaogang nodded on the surface, as calm as still water, but in fact he was panicking inside, and the ominous feeling in his heart became even stronger. Why did Bibi Dong also call me and Ah Yin by our names? Has she really fallen in love with me? It seems that I am so handsome and charming that even Bibi Dong is fascinated by me. How the corners of Long Xiaoyao's mouth raised slightly, and his heart was already filled with joy. Long Xiaoyao noticed that Bibi Dong took the opportunity to call him and Ah Yin by their names, and he guessed that Bibi Dong might have fallen in love with him. Otherwise, according to what Long Xiaoyao knew, how could Bibi Dong be willing to take him and Ah Yin to visit Wuhun City in person, and now she would be willing to take him and Ah Yin to meet Yu Xiaogang? You are so narcissistic. But he is indeed handsome and charming. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin silently held Long Xiaoyao's hand, looked at Long Xiaoyao's profile, raised the corners of his mouth slightly, and showed a happy smile. So do you like me? After hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bibi Dong really wanted to know if Long Xiaoyao liked her, but she did not ask directly because it was not the time to talk about it yet. Her Royal Highness the Saint has just returned from the city of slaughter. Presumably you are still unable to control the god of killing domain you just mastered as you wish, right? Yu Xiaogang asked confidently. No, I can control it as I please, Bibi Dong directly denied it. What? How is that possible? Yu Xiaogang was shocked. According to his calculation, Bibi Dong should not be able to master the realm of the god of death yet. Are you really able to control the realm of the god of death at will? Yu Xiaogang asked in disbelief. If what Bibi Dong said was true, wouldn't the practice method he spent a whole night preparing be in vain? Then what else can he use to gain Bibi Dong's trust and favor and deceive Bibi Dong? Bibi Dong nodded. This is all thanks to Long Xiaoyao. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be able to control the killing god realm as I wish. Thank you very much. Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao with a smile, her eyes full of gratitude and appreciation. It's okay, there's no need to be so polite between us, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. How is this possible? Yu Xiaogang was shocked when he heard Bibi Dong's words. His eyes widened and he looked at Long Xiaoyao in disbelief. Because according to the records of Wuhun Palace, Yu Xiaogang found that some soul masters who had mastered the god of death realm from the killing city could not control it even if they were super Douluo. Eventually it turned into a killing machine and was besieged to death by the soul masters. Yu Xiaogang saw that Long Xiaoyao was so young, he probably hadn't even reached Contra yet. Now Bibi Dong said that Long Xiaoyao helped her so that she could control the realm of the god of death at will. Yu Xiaogang found it hard to believe it. What's impossible? It's just the realm of the god of killing. Isn't it difficult to control it? Or do you think Ah Yin, I, and Bibi Dong colluded and deliberately deceived you? Who do you think you are? Do we need to do this? Long Xiaoyao sneered and asked Yu Xiaogang one after another that he didn't plan to waste too much time on Yu Xiaogang. He planned to uncover Yu Xiaogang's false mask now and let Bibi Dong recognize Yu Xiaogang's true face. When Yu Xiaogang heard Long Xiaoyao's words, he was speechless for a moment and didn't know how to answer, because he really didn't think that Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, and Bibi Dong had any reason to lie to him. Who are you exactly? How did you help Her Royal Highness the Saint to control the realm of the god of death as she pleased? Yu Xiaogang asked Long Xiaoyao with a gloomy face and a smile on his face. Yu Xiaogang was very dissatisfied with the way Long Xiaoyao talked to him. The most important thing was that he noticed the way Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao and knew that Bibi Dong had fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao. He knew that he wanted to use Bibi Dong's plan to rise to power. Already ruined. Yu Xiaogang wants to know the origin of Long Xiaoyao. He will take revenge on Long Xiaoyao in the future. He will let Long Xiaoyao know the consequences of offending him. Why should I tell you? You are nothing more than a waste with a mutated useless martial spirit who was abandoned by the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex family. You don't deserve to know who I am. Long Xiaoyao raised the corners of his mouth slightly, stared into Yu Xiaogang's eyes, and spoke word by word. Long Xiaoyao is not only a doctor who can treat patients and save people, he also studied psychology and is a psychiatrist. He is stimulating Yu Xiaogang, seducing Yu Xiaogang step by step, and making Yu Xiaogang admit that he wants to deceive Bibi Dong. When Yu Xiaogang heard that Long Xiaoyao said the thing that he least wanted to admit, he felt very angry. His face turned red and he gritted his teeth. He wanted to beat Long Xiaoyao to death because he couldn't stand others calling him a waste. But what Long Xiaoyao said was true. Yu Xiaogang couldn't refute it, but he couldn't figure it out. It was obviously the first time he met Long Xiaoyao, so why Long Xiaoyao knew his details? What are you? Am I wrong? Let me ask you, in the entire Douluo continent, who doesn't know that Yu Xiaogang are the most useless disciple in the history of the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family? The only one who has been expelled from the blue electric Tyrannosaurus family. Before Yu Xiaogang could speak, Long Xiaoyao continued with a sneer and raised his voice deliberately so that everyone in the lobby could hear it. I don't know him. Ah Yin said that she did not know Yu Xiaogang at all, but she knew that Long Xiaoyao would not insult Yu Xiaogang for no reason. She believed that Long Xiaoyao must have some purpose. She also believed what she said in her heart that Yu Xiaogang was not a good person. She did not sympathize with Yu Xiaogang. Is this your strategy? Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao and guessed that the reason why Long Xiaoyao insulted Yu Xiaogang so much was to expose Yu Xiaogang's true colors. Now, Bibi Dong believed in Long Xiaoyao more than Yu Xiaogang, so she just watched from the side. He is Yu Xiaogang? The abandoned son of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. Why is he here? Still wearing the clothes of Wuhun Palace, don't you know? After Yu Xiaogang was expelled from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, he came to seek refuge in Wuhun Palace. Now he is a deacon in the information department of Wuhun Palace, and he seems to know Her Royal Highness the Saint. Because of Long Xiaoyao's voice, everyone in the lobby looked at Yu Xiaogang with contempt in their eyes, and they started talking one after another. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, seeing Long Xiaoyao's eyes, and noticing the contemptuous eyes and harsh words of the people in the lobby, Yu Xiaogang again thought of the white eyes and ridicule of the people of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. Especially his family members felt the same way about him. They suddenly became extremely angry and could no longer keep calm. I'm not a waste. Just wait for me. Sooner or later, I will stand at the top of the Soul Master world. I will trample you under my feet and let you know how stupid you are, Yu Xiaogang roared. His long-term unwillingness, coupled with the arrival of Long Xiaoyao, made all his careful preparations in the past few years, and his plan to reach the peak of life by deceiving Bibi Dong failed before it was implemented, so that he completely lost his mind. Looking at the berserk Yu Xiaogang, the corners of Long Xiaoyao's mouth raised slightly, and he knew it was time. I know, don't you just want to trick Bibi Dong, the simple and kind-hearted Bibi Dong, to make her fall in love with you, use her to rise to power, and use her to help you reach the top of your life? What? In the lobby, people were extremely shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. Yu Xiaogang suddenly panicked when he heard Long Xiaoyao reveal his hidden purpose. In addition, he had lost his mind and had no time to think. How do you know? Yu Xiaogang subconsciously asked Long Xiaoyao, but he immediately realized something was wrong and quickly covered his mouth with fear in his eyes, but it was too late. Yu Xiaogang knew that this was equivalent to acknowledging Long Xiaoyao's words. He knew that it would be difficult for him to walk out of the Rose Hotel safely today. Bibi Dong is the saint of the Wuhun Palace, and Yu Xiaogang actually dared to deceive Bibi Dong and wanted to use Bibi Dong to gain power. Even if Bibi Dong would let him go, no one present would let him go easily. Wuhan the palace will not let him go easily. Chapter 40 Killing Yu Xiaogang? Are you really cheating on me? Hearing Yu Xiaogang's personal admission, Bibi Dong was very disappointed and angry. She originally thought that Yu Xiaogang was a smart and very motivated person, but she didn't expect that he was really a person who deceived her and wanted to take advantage of her. A scumbag at the peak of his life. Yu Xiaogang admitted it himself. What young Master Long said is true. Yu Xiaogang is really a toad who wants to eat swan meat. He doesn't know how to pee and look for him. In terms of his appearance, status and strength, how is he worthy of Her Highness the Saint? Yu Xiaogang is so abominable. How dare you deceive Her Royal Highness the Saint? Beat him to death, beat Yu Xiaogang to death. The people around were shouting that Yu Xiaogang should be killed, because Bibi Dong was the saint of Wuhun Palace, and she was the perfect goddess in their minds. They felt sorry for Yu Xiaogang, who wanted to deceive Bibi Dong and use Bibi Dong to gain power. Extremely angry. No, Bibi Dong, don't misunderstand me, just listen to my explanation. When Yu Xiaogang saw Bibi Dong discovering his purpose, he heard that people around him began to denounce him, and wanted to defend Bibi Dong, so that Bibi Dong could trust him, and more importantly, to save his life, otherwise he would be here today. It is very likely that I will not be able to leave this Rose Hotel. Snapped. What? But before Yu Xiaogang finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao slapped Yu Xiaogang hard on the face. Suddenly, a clear and loud slap and Yu Xiaogang's painful and loud scream sounded at the same time, and the sounds even exceeded the voices of the people around him. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Yu Xiaogang rotated 720 degrees, fell headfirst and fell heavily to the floor. For those who didn't know, they thought Yu Xiaogang was dancing on the floor. Click. Immediately afterwards, there were crisp sounds of cracking bones and shattering teeth. Yu Xiaogang's nose was directly smashed, and many of his teeth were knocked out and smashed by Long Xiaoyao. The blood directly stained the floor red. What? Then, Yu Xiaogang let out a heartbreaking cry. Just by listening to Yu Xiaogang's screams, you can feel how much pain Yu Xiaogang is feeling now. However, no one felt sorry for Yu Xiaogang, but they all felt that it was not enough to relieve their hatred. You can also call Bibi Dong. Did you think we were deaf? Didn't you hear that you just admitted it yourself, or do you think we are all fools? Will we listen to your lies? Long Xiaoyao questioned Yu Xiaogang, who was lying on the ground. Master Long is right. Young Master Long fought well. The people around him started shouting for Long Xiaoyao. When they looked at Yu Xiaogang lying on the ground, instead of showing any sympathy, they felt happy. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at Yu Xiaogang lying on the ground without any sympathy. They both felt that Yu Xiaogang deserved it. Because Ah Yin was deceived by Tang Hao and Tang Xiao last time, she now hates those men who deceive women in order to take advantage of them. Bibi Dong hated people lying to her very much. Even if Long Xiaoyao didn't hit Yu Xiaogang, she would hit Yu Xiaogang, and it would only be heavier than Long Xiaoyao, not lighter than Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao, thank you very much. If it weren't for you, I wouldn't have known that Yu Xiaogang was actually deceiving me. Bibi Dong thanked Long Xiaoyao sincerely, saying that she was really grateful to Long Xiaoyao. At the same time, Bibi Dong was also thinking in her heart, since Yu Xiaogang is really what Long Xiaoyao said in his heart, he is a scum who deceived her. So is Jin Zunji really what Long Xiaoyao said in his heart, that he is a beast and intends to rape her and force her to have a child? Yesterday, Bibi Dong felt that this possibility was only 90.00%, but now, she feels that this possibility is, percent. But Bibi Dong still doesn't believe it. It should be said that she doesn't want to believe that Kyank Sunji would do such an animal thing to her, because Kyank Sunji is her mentor and the person she respects the most. It's okay, there's no need to be polite between us, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Long Xiaoyao, why are you? Yu Xiaogang stood up desperately and wanted to ask Long Xiaoyao something, but he was already in too much pain to speak. At this moment, the side of Yu Xiaogang's face where Long Xiaoyao had beaten her was completely red and swollen, her nose was smashed, 4 or 5 front teeth were broken, and her nose, mouth and hands were all covered in blood. On the floor, in addition to Yu Xiaogang's blood, there were more than a dozen of his broken teeth. Are you curious? This is our first meeting, so why do I know your purpose? Long Xiaoyao asked Yu Xiaogang with a smile. Okay, Yu Xiaogang nodded, he just wanted to know this, otherwise he would die in peace. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and everyone around them also looked at Long Xiaoyao, and they all wanted to know this. Long Xiaoyao deliberately lengthened the first word, making Yu Xiaogang more curious. It also made Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and the people around them more curious. I won't tell you, I'll make you mad, ha ha ha, Long Xiaoyao laughed. Why does Long Xiaoyao need to explain to Yu Xiaogang? Totally unnecessary, right? Moreover, Long Xiaoyao has now determined that Yu Xiaogang is just as he thought, an out-and-out scumbag. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao wants to replace Bibi Dong's fans and teach Yu Xiaogang, the person who plunged Bibi Dong into endless darkness, a lesson. He wants Yu Xiaogang to die in peace. Long Xiaoyao wanted to kill Yu Xiaogang because he was worried that Yu Xiaogang would teach Tang San later and make Tang San his biggest enemy in the future. Because Ah Yin was already his woman, it was not certain whether Tang San would be born or whose son he would be after birth. And even if Tang San is born, he is still Tang Hao's son. By the time Tang San grows up, Long Xiaoyao should already be invincible. Will he still be afraid of a little Tang San? I kill you. Yu Xiaogang was extremely angry. He knew that he was doomed today, so he wanted to take advantage of this only opportunity to kill Long Xiaoyao and kill the man who had exposed his plan and put him in a desperate situation. Buzz! Wong, yellow, 2 soul rings slowly rose from Yu Xiaogang's feet, and his martial soul Luo Sanpao also condensed and took shape. Whoosh! Long Xiaoyao rushed towards Yu Xiaogang without saying a word. The first soul skill, fart like thunder, boom, boom. Yu Xiaogang was just about to use his first soul skill, but before he finished reading the name of his first soul skill, Long Xiaoyao came in front of him and kicked Yu Xiaogang hard in the chest. Click! Ah, poof! Long Xiaoyao directly kicked Yu Xiaogang's ribs, and kicked Yu Xiaogang's whole body away. Yu Xiaogang also screamed in agony. And blood spurted out in the air. Yu Xiaogang's soul ring and the newly formed Luo Sanpao also dissipated as Yu Xiaogang was kicked away by Long Xiaoyao. Boom! Click click! Yu Xiaogang fell heavily on a table, smashing the table. Yu Xiaogang lay on the broken table like a dead dog, unable to stand up. Long Xiaoyao stared at Yu Xiaogang and walked slowly over step by step. His eyes were filled with murderous intent. He wanted to kill Yu Xiaogang. Yu Xiaogang looked at Long Xiaoyao, who was slowly walking towards him, and felt Long Xiaoyao's killing intent, as if he was seeing the god of death, and felt extremely scared. You can't kill me. I am the son of the leader of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. If you kill me, the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family will not let you go. Yu Xiaogang crawled back desperately while threatening Long Xiaoyao, saying that he was really scared and he really didn't want to die. You are dead today, no one can save you, I said so, Long Xiaoyao said coldly, still walking towards Yu Xiaogang step by step. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao, heard Long Xiaoyao's cold words, and knew that Long Xiaoyao had decided to kill Yu Xiaogang, but they did not stop Long Xiaoyao. Bibi Dong was even a little happy. She felt that Long Xiaoyao killed Yu Xiaogang just for her. Please, I know I was wrong, please let me go. Seeing Long Xiaoyao pressing closer, he was extremely frightened. At the same time, the pants under Yu Xiaogang's crotch turned yellow for some reason and had a bit of a smell. Long Xiaoyao picked up a broken table leg and walked towards Yu Xiaogang step by step. He had already walked in front of Yu Xiaogang and raised the table leg. Your Highness the Saint, I know I was wrong. Please, please, for my sake, puff. Seeing that Long Xiaoyao was about to kill him, Yu Xiaogang had no choice but to turn to Bibi Dong to plead for mercy. But before he finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao inserted the broken table leg into Yu Xiaogang's chest, breaking Yu Xiaogang's heart. What? Yu Xiaogang made a painful sound, and blood continued to flow from the wound and mouth. Then Long Xiaoyao turned around without looking back and walked towards Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Yu Xiaogang looked at Long Xiaoyao's back unwillingly, and died soon after. But his eyes were still open, and he refused to close his eyes. Chapter 41 Long Xiaoyao's Perfect Plan. Master Long actually killed Yu Xiaogang. He must be too courageous, isn't he afraid of revenge from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family? The people around were shocked when they saw that Long Xiaoyao had really killed Yu Xiaogang. Although they all clamored to beat Yu Xiaogang to death, in fact they would not really beat Yu Xiaogang to death. They didn't know Long Xiaoyao's true strength, but they knew that Yu Xiaogang was the biological son of the patriarch of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family. Although Yu Xiaogang was expelled from the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, they felt that the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family would not sit idly by, otherwise the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family would become the second sect in Douluo continent. Long Xiaoyao, thank you, Bibi Dong smiled and thanked Long Xiaoyao. She felt that Long Xiaoyao killed Yu Xiaogang because of her, and she was very touched. But since you killed Yu Xiaogang's father, Yu Yuanzhan and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family will not let you go. If you add the Haoshan sect, you and Ah Yin will not be able to cope with it. Why don't you and Ah Yin join our spirit hall? I promise that Master will agree to protect you and won't let the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family and Haoshan sect touch you. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong invited Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, and vowed that she was worried that the Haoshan sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family would unite to deal with Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, and she felt that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin would not be able to handle it. Come. Bibi Dong was too worried about Long Xiaoyao, and felt that the only way for Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin to survive was to get Jin Zunji to agree to protect Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. She had forgotten what Long Xiaoyao said in her heart, Jin Zunji's true face. There is no need to join the spirit hall. Even if the Haoshan sect and the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family unite, Ah Yin and I are not afraid at all. Long Xiaoyao took Ah Yin's hand and directly rejected Bibi Dong's invitation. Ah Yin nodded. She chose to believe in Long Xiaoyao. She was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. No matter what Long Xiaoyao decided, she would choose to support it. Master Long refused. Master Long and Miss Yin actually offended the Haoshan sect. What are the origins of Mr. Long and Miss Yin? They are not even afraid of the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus family and the Haoshan sect. The people around them were extremely shocked when they heard what Bibi Dong and Long Xiaoyao said, and they were all very curious about the origins of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Bibi Dong trusts Jin Zunji so much? She must not believe it if I tell her that Jin Zunji wants to rape her and force her to have children. How should I let Jin Zunji reveal his prototype? Long Xiaoyao thought that Bibi Dong was helping Jin Zunji to get him and Ah Yin to join the spirit hall. He felt that Bibi Dong should trust Jin Zunji now, so he thought about how to let Bibi Dong see Jin Zunji's true face. I thought that as long as I chase Bibi Dong and let Bibi Dong follow me and Ah Yin out of the spirit hall, Jin Zunji will definitely reveal his true colors. Long Xiaoyao smiled. He remembered that in the original work, Bibi Dong proposed to Jin Zunji that he wanted to be with Yu Xiaogang, and for this reason he was willing to leave the spirit hall. That's why Kyank Sunji revealed his prototype and was raped by Kyank Sunji. He thought of this perfect plan to kill two birds with one stone. It's okay for Long Xiaoyao to chase Bibi Dong. This will not only save Bibi Dong, but also allow Bibi Dong to help me share the pressure, so that Long Xiaoyao can be satisfied. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's voice and she was very supportive, firstly for Bibi Dong, and secondly for herself and Long Xiaoyao. After the battle with Long Xiaoyao last night, Ah Yin knew that Long Xiaoyao was very powerful and she couldn't handle it alone. If Long Xiaoyao chased Bibi Dong could help her share the pressure. Long Xiaoyao wants to chase me. But is Master really? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, Bibi Dong was both happy and anxious. She was worried that Jin Zunji was really the same beast as Long Xiaoyao said. Is the manager of the Rose Hotel here? Long Xiaoyao asked loudly. Exist. The manager of Rose Hotel heard Long Xiaoyao's call and immediately came to Long Xiaoyao's side. What are your orders, Mr. Long? How many soul coins does this table of yours cost, including the tableware on it? I will compensate you according to the price, Long Xiaoyao asked the manager. The manager looked at Bibi Dong with questioning eyes. Just tell me and I will compensate you, Bibi Dong said, preparing to take out her gold card. No, I broke the table, I will pay for it. Long Xiaoyao then said that the expenses for him and Ah Yin to stay at the Rose Hotel were all paid by Bibi Dong. He had to show his financial resources. He couldn't let Bibi Dong think that he had no money, otherwise how could he pursue Bibi Dong? You are not allowed to rob me, otherwise you will look down on me, Long Xiaoyao warned Bibi Dong righteously. Okay, seeing how serious Long Xiaoyao was, Bibi Dong had no choice but to nod. Tell me, how many soul coins are there? Long Xiaoyao turned to the manager again. A total of 10 gold soul coins, the manager looked at it and said directly. It is good, Long Xiaoyao nodded, and then took out a bulging bag from the space ring. There are 100 gold soul coins here. For the remaining 90 gold soul coins, please help me find a few people and ask them to return Yu Xiaogang's body to the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family, and let them say that Yu Xiaogang is those who Long Xiaoyao killed. Come to me if you want revenge, do you understand? Long Xiaoyao directly handed the bag to the manager and said that he dared to admit it. Since he was the one who killed Yu Xia gang, he dared to admit it. If Yu Yuanzhan wanted to avenge Yu Xia gang, Long Xiaoyao wouldn't mind reuniting Yu Yuanzhan and Yu Xia gang's father and son. Why is Mr. Long doing this? Does he want to provoke the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family? The people around were extremely shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's words. The manager understood that Long Xiaoyao was provoking Yu Yuanzhan, and looked at Bibi Dong with questioning eyes. Just do what Long Xiaoyao says. Bibi Dong said that she chose to believe Long Xiaoyao. Yes, the manager nodded and took the bag of gold soul coins from Long Xiaoyao's hand. Wait a minute and then return our room, Long Xiaoyao said to the manager. Return, not only the manager, but also Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and everyone around them had question marks on their faces. Long Xiaoyao, what are you doing? Bibi Dong asked Long Xiaoyao nervously and puzzledly. She didn't understand why Long Xiaoyao had just said in his heart that he wanted to chase her, and why he gave up the room now. Everyone looked at Long Xiaoyao in confusion. Your residence should not only have your room, right? There should be many more rooms, right? In order to prevent you from coming here to find us every morning, Ah Yin and I will go to your residence starting from tonight, right? I happen to have a game here that is perfect for 3 people to play together. When we return to your place in the evening, the 3 of us can have a good time playing it. How about it? Long Xiaoyao smiled and explained to Bibi Dong. A game suitable for 3 people? Everyone was very curious about what game Long Xiaoyao was talking about, including Ah Yin, because this was the first time Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao talk about it. Okay, Bibi Dong directly agreed that there were indeed many rooms in her residence. She was also very curious about the game Long Xiaoyao talked about. The most important thing was that she couldn't refuse Long Xiaoyao. Ah Yin, do you agree? Long Xiaoyao asked Ah Yin with a smile. Ah Yin nodded directly. No matter what Long Xiaoyao did, she would support it, and she was also very curious about the game Long Xiaoyao talked about. Okay, without further ado, let's not waste time here. Bibi Dong, please take us to the Soul Playground quickly. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong. Okay, you guys come with me. Bibi Dong nodded, and then walked out of the Rose Hotel with Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Originally, Bibi Dong had prepared a carriage, but Long Xiaoyao directly summoned Little Harned and took Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to the Soul Music Field under Bibi Dong's instructions. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 42 3-Player Game. Night falls, and the bright moon is in the sky. After a day of playing, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, led by Bibi Dong, entered the Wuhun Hall and arrived at Bibi Dong's residence. Question: how can I capture the heart of a goddess? In fact, there is no standard answer to this question, because each goddess's identity, cognition, needs, and preferences are different. But Long Xiaoyao knows how to capture the goddess's stomach, that is, to make food that the goddess likes to eat, and it is the kind of food that the goddess will become addicted to after eating it once. The goddess's stomach has been captured. As long as he's not a fool, is he still far away from capturing the goddess's heart? Very handsome. Bibi Dong's maid who was waiting at the door saw Long Xiaoyao and was instantly fascinated by Long Xiaoyao. She looked straight at Long Xiaoyao and was stunned, forgetting why she came here. Oh, Xiaoyao, is dinner ready? Bibi Dong coughed lightly and asked Xiaoyao. What? Oh, go back to your majesty the holy lady. It has been prepared for a long time. You go to the lobby and wait for a while. I will have the prepared meals brought to you. Only then did Xiaoyao react and quickly said respectfully. No need, just take us to the kitchen and we'll make our own food. As soon as Xiaoyao finished speaking, Long Xiaoyao said. What? This? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Xiaoyao didn't know what to do and looked at Bibi Dong with questioning eyes. Can you cook? Bibi Dong looked at Long Xiaoyao with surprise. She had been an orphan since she was a child and was taken in by the Wuhan Palace in an orphanage. After awakening her twin martial souls at the age of 6, she was accepted as a disciple by Kyank Sunji. From here on, there are people taking care of me, I don't have to worry about food and clothing, and I don't know how to cook at all. Bibi Dong knew that Long Xiaoyao was very powerful. She felt that Long Xiaoyao must have spent a lot of time on training and he probably couldn't cook. Of course, there's nothing I wouldn't do. It's very late now. It's difficult to digest food and can easily lead to weight gain, so let me feed it to you. The noodles I make are easy to digest, so you don't have to worry about gaining weight. It's also delicious, Long Xiaoyao said with an extremely confident smile. Yes, Bibi Dong, the noodles under Long Xiaoyao are delicious, and they are really easy to digest. Ah Yin was very excited when she heard that Long Xiaoyao wanted noodles. Her favorite thing to eat was Long Xiaoyao's noodles. It is good, seeing that Long Xiaoyao was so confident and Ah Yin was so excited. Bibi Dong also looked forward to Long Xiaoyao's face. After a while, Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong came to the kitchen. Okay, you can all go. Long Xiaoyao told Xiao and the chefs in the kitchen that he didn't want these people to watch, otherwise they would ask him to help them later, and it would be endless. Everyone looked at Bibi Dong. You all go down, Bibi Dong said. Yes, everyone left one after another, leaving only Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong here. Long Xiaoyao picked up a vegetable basket and began to check and select the ingredients in the kitchen to make sauté. After a while, he selected a few fresh cabbages, fresh lean meat, fresh green peppers, and fresh fragrant vegetables, onions and other ingredients. Long Xiaoyao plans to make stir-fried green pepper and stir-fried pork dumplings. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, come and wash the vegetables. I'll boil the water first, prepare the noodles, and then fry the sesame seeds. Long Xiaoyao handed the vegetable basket to Ah Yin and Bibi Dong Dao. Okay, Ah Yin smiled and nodded, taking the vegetable basket directly from Long Xiaoyao's hand. I don't know how to wash vegetables. Two blushes appeared on Bibi Dong's fair and delicate face, and she whispered sheepishly. It's okay. Ah Yin can teach you. It's very simple, let's cook it together, so it will taste better, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile. Come here, let's wash together. Ah Yin smiled and held Bibi Dong's jade hand. She saw that Bibi Dong wanted to help, but he really didn't know how to wash vegetables. She wanted to teach Bibi Dong. Okay, feeling Ah Yin's tenderness, Bibi Dong felt like being cared for by her sister for the first time. She smiled and nodded, and then went to wash vegetables with Ah Yin. Long Xiaoyao smiled and started washing pots in boiling water to prepare noodles. Long Xiaoyao, the dishes are done. After lighting the fire, washing the pot, and starting to boil water, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong happened to arrive in front of Long Xiaoyao with the ingredients they had washed together. Yes, not bad, leave it to me next. Long Xiaoyao took the vegetable basket and began to cut the vegetables skillfully. It was done in a short while, with smooth movements. The vegetables were all the same size and neat, even neater than those cut by a machine. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong watched from the side. Even if Ah Yin saw it for the first time, they were both stunned by Long Xiaoyao's sword skills and fascinated by Long Xiaoyao's free and easy movements. Then Long Xiaoyao directly added oil to stir-fry the dumplings, and his movements were also smooth. It smells so good. It's even more fragrant than those fried by my chefs. Before the sauerkraut was cooked, the aroma had already spread. Bibi Dong was shocked and became even more excited. At this time, the water was boiling, and Long Xiaoyao put in the cabbage and noodles prepared in advance and cooked them together. Ah Yin, why does Long Xiaoyao put cabbage in his noodles? Afraid of disturbing Long Xiaoyao? Bibi Dong asked Ah Yin curiously. This will make the noodles more tender and delicious, Ah Yin replied. I see. Bibi Dong was looking forward to it even more. After a while, Long Xiaoyao had fried the sauerkraut, and the noodles were also cooked at this time. He first put the noodles into 3 large bowls that had been prepared beforehand, then poured the sauerkraut, sprinkled with chives, and put on chopsticks. 3 bowls of green pepper shredded pork noodles are ready. It smells so good. Is this edible? Bibi Dong came to Long Xiaoyao's side, looked at one of the bowls of noodles, and asked Long Xiaoyao expectantly. Let's take it outside to eat first. Long Xiaoyao nodded. Then let's go to the pavilion in the back garden to eat. It has a nice environment there and you can also enjoy the moon, Bibi Dong said with a smile. Then Long Xiaoyao and the other 3, holding their own faces, led by Bibi Dong, came to the pavilion in the back garden. Just like Bibi Dong said, there are many colorful flowers in the back garden. Under the moonlight, the flowers are covered with a white gauze, making them even more beautiful. Why haven't the roses bloomed yet? It should be the season for roses to bloom now. Ah Yin pointed to the rose trees in the distance without any roses and felt very puzzled. Not good. Just because of that, Bibi Dong's pretty face immediately turned red, feeling a little embarrassed. No wonder the smell of blood on Bibi Dong's body has disappeared, and there is still a very fragrant rose fragrance. It seems that she used all the roses here to take a bath last night. Looking at the bare rose tree and the suddenly shy Bibi Dong, Xiaoyao finally understood the reason why the rose tree became bare. Cyrillic letter dare. Hearing Xiaoyao's thoughts, Bibi Dong became even more shy. She knew that she didn't just use the roses here last night. Let's eat the noodles quickly, otherwise it won't taste good when it gets cold. After hearing Xiaoyao's thoughts and seeing Bibi Dong's shy look, Ah Yin also realized that the truth was probably what Xiaoyao had guessed, and quickly shifted his attention. Yep, Bibi Dong nodded quickly. Well, eat it. Xiaoyao smiled and nodded. Then the three of them started eating noodles. Wow. It's so delicious. Just like Ah Yin eating Xiaoyao's noodles for the first time, Bibi Dong couldn't help but exclaimed after taking the first bite elegantly, and then devoured it without caring about the image. Although Ah Yin had eaten it many times, she couldn't stand the fact that the noodles under Xiaoyao were so delicious, and she was gobbling them up like Bibi Dong. This is not something I have to control. Looking at Ah Yin and Bibi Dong devouring their food, Xiaoyao smiled and started to devour it. In less than 10 minutes, Xiaoyao and the other three had finished the 3 large bowls of hot noodles that had just been cooked, including the soup. It's really delicious, Bibi Dong praised without hesitation, and Ah Yin also nodded. They all felt that they still had something to say. Okay, now that we've eaten and drank enough, we can play a 3-person game, Xiaoyao said with a smile, then took the 3 bowls off the table and placed them on the ground aside. What kind of 3-person game is this? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at Xiaoyao curiously. They had asked Xiaoyao more than once today, and Xiaoyao had never mentioned it in their hearts. They still don't know. The 3-player game I'm talking about is landlord fighting. A mysterious smile appeared on Xiaoyao's face, and he took out a deck of playing cards he had obtained a long time ago. Fighting the landlord, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at the playing cards on the table with question marks on their faces. Chapter 43 Bibi Dong's Troubles. 2. I only have 1 card left. Xiaoyao threw a pair of 2s on the table, held up the last card in his hand, and looked at Ah Yin and Bibi Dong with a winner's smile on his face. 4 J's, I'll blow it up. Bibi Dong directly threw 4 jacks, with a proud smile on his face. You didn't expect it, did you? I still have a bomb in my hand, Bibi Dong asked Xiaoyao with a smile. No, Ah Yin smiled and shook her head. Xiaoyao was the landlord in this game. She and Bibi Dong were on the same team. Of course she would not pressure Bibi Dong. Oh. I can't afford it, Xiaoyao said helplessly. Even right, Bibi Dong directly threw a 4-5-6-7 combo. No, Ah Yin shook his head. I'm sorry, Xiaoyao shook his head helplessly. Shunzi. I'm done, Bibi Dong threw another 6, 7, 8, 90 straight, and now she was already empty-handed. Yay. We won again. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong clapped their hands, with excited smiles on their faces. Oh my god. You can even dismantle a plane and play cards. I've really taught you 2 beauties how much I, a little doctor, have lost all my money. Xiaoyao was very depressed. He smiled bitterly and took out 8 more gold soul coins, giving 4 to each of Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Since Xiaoyao taught Ah Yin and Bibi Dong about poker and the rules of landlords 2 hours ago, and started playing, except for a few cards that Ah Yin and Bibi Dong couldn't hold down, he played except for Ah Yin and Bibi Dong's several spring games, he had never won any of them. Xiaoyao originally thought about crushing Ah Yin and Bibi Dong by playing landlord. He wanted to show Ah Yin and Bibi Dong how powerful he was, but he didn't expect that he would be crushed by them instead. Basically, he was on that side will lose. Geek. Who makes us so smart? As soon as you finish teaching us, we will all be able to play. Hearing Xiaoyao's praise, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were very happy, and Bibi Dong, the winner, began to shuffle the cards. It's really weird. It's obviously the first time for Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to play landlords. Why can't we bluff them every time? Can they still see my cards? Xiaoyao was very puzzled. He was also a veteran of landlords. He really couldn't figure out why he couldn't frighten the 2 newbies Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. I don't see your cards, I hear your cards. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong showed proud smiles. This was the reason why they would not be frightened by Long Xiaoyao. At this moment, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong had the same idea in their minds, that is, they must not let Long Xiaoyao know that they can hear Long Xiaoyao's voice, otherwise they will not be able to crush Long Xiaoyao in landlords in the future, but it doesn't matter if I lose the gold soul coins to Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Anyway, they will be my women in the future, and my gold soul coins are also their gold soul coins. Thinking of this, Long Xiaoyao smiled. Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin also smiled. She is now Long Xiaoyao's woman, and she is the first one. No matter what Long Xiaoyao decides, she will silently support and work hard to help Long Xiaoyao. Could it be that Long Xiaoyao wants to accept the two of us? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's inner voice, Bibi Dong was shocked, at the same time a little conflicted and at a loss. Because Bibi Dong likes Long Xiaoyao, she also likes Ah Yin, and she also knows that in Douluo continent, a man can have 3 wives and 4 concubines. But now Bibi Dong still cannot accept that her man has 3 wives and 4 concubines. Bibi Dong has been arrogant since she was a child and has the best talent. She feels that her man can either defeat her or conquer her with wisdom. Otherwise, how can he be worthy of being her man? And her man should only love her, after all, she is already so good. It is precisely because of this that Bibi Dong is attracted to Long Xiaoyao and wants to compete with Ah Yin for Long Xiaoyao. Moreover, Bibi Dong, who had been an orphan since she was a child, had been taken in by the Wuhun Hall orphanage, but she had also suffered hardships and envied those children who had parents who cared for her. She was well aware of the physical and mental pain of orphans. Ever since Bibi Dong became Jin Zunji's teacher and received Jin Zunji's care, Bibi Dong realized how happy it is to have someone caring for her. This is why she respects Jin Zunji very much and doesn't want to believe what Long Xiaoyao said in her heart about Jin Zunji. Seeking disease is the cause of animals. Bibi Dong has had a dream since she was a child, which is to unify the Douluo continent and end the war that caused children to lose their parents, so that all children can thrive in the company of their parents without experiencing the pain she experienced. It was also because of this that Bibi Dong practiced so hard and focused on recruiting people for Wuhun Palace. Therefore, after she saw the strength of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, she constantly wanted to recruit Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin to join Wuhun Hall Temple. But now, Bibi Dong not only learned from Long Xiaoyao's inner words that Jin Zunji, whom she respected the most, was a beast. And she also learned that Long Xiaoyao, the only one who had made her heart beat for so long, actually wanted to accept her and Ah Yin at the same time. She couldn't accept it for a while and didn't know what to do. She was stunned. Bibi Dong, why are you stunned? Hurry up and deal the cards, don't just think about winning money and leaving. If we don't fight until dawn today, I won't let you rest, Long Xiaoyao reminded Bibi Dong when he saw that she was stunned. Long Xiaoyao, who hadn't played landlords for a long time and had been losing so much, was very unconvinced. Now he only thought about winning back and didn't notice Bibi Dong's abnormality at all. It is good. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's reminder, Bibi Dong finally reacted, nodded, and continued shuffling the cards. Bibi Dong planned to cooperate with Long Xiaoyao first to see if Jin Zunji was really a beast, as Long Xiaoyao said. As for whether to stay with Ah Yin and Long Xiaoyao, Bibi Dong planned to discuss it later. Do not want, oh. I can't afford it, Shunzi. I'm done. In the next 2 hours, Long Xiaoyao lost 500 gold soul coins to Yin and Bibi Dong, but he was not unhappy because he knew that it was best for Yin and Bibi Dong to be happy. Long Xiaoyao was just a little depressed. He originally wanted to crush Yin and Bibi Dong first, and then let Yin and Bibi Dong be happy, but unexpectedly he kept being crushed by Yin and Bibi Dong. Stop playing, stop playing. After losing the nth round and finally winning one, Long Xiaoyao directly put away the playing cards. Why, didn't you say you were going to fight until dawn? Yin and Bibi Dong were very puzzled when they saw Long Xiaoyao put away the cards. I was joking then, staying up late is very bad for your health, especially for you girls. Staying up late for a long time will lead to a bad mental state. Not only will it cause dark circles under the eyes, but it may also cause the breasts to become smaller and sagging, and stubble to grow on the chin. It's almost early in the morning. Do you still want to continue fighting? Long Xiaoyao asked Yin and Bibi Dong with a smile. Really? Bibi Dong felt very unbelievable. Of course, I'm a doctor, I won't lie to you, Long Xiaoyao nodded heavily. Then why did you go to bed until 2 or 3 o'clock last night? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's words, Ah Yin suddenly became nervous and subconsciously questioned Long Xiaoyao. Do it all the way to 2 or 3, could it be that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were together last night? Hearing Ah Yin's words, Bibi Dong looked at Ah Yin curiously and shocked, and the ominous premonition in her heart became even stronger. Noticing Bibi Dong's eyes, Ah Yin knew that Bibi Dong must have guessed what she was talking about, and her pretty face suddenly turned red. It wasn't the first time. I was quite excited and couldn't control it all of a sudden. Long Xiaoyao smiled sheepishly. Ah Yin became even more shy, lowered her head, and kicked Long Xiaoyao's calf hard with her foot. Ah! Long Xiaoyao let out a painful scream in response. How dare you kick me? It seems I have to give you some punishment tonight. Long Xiaoyao showed a naughty smile, walked directly to Ah Yin, and hugged Ah Yin in a princess hug. Bibi Dong, let's go to bed first. You should go to bed early and don't stay up late. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong, then ignored Bibi Dong and carried Ah Yin directly to the room that Bibi Dong had prepared. It seems that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin really. Looking at Long Xiaoyao holding Ah Yin's back, Bibi Dong was sure that Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin must have fought last night. Ah Yin was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. She felt a little disappointed, but more of envy. She envied Ah Yin. Bibi Dong couldn't accept this fact for a while, and didn't know what to do. The joy of winning the landlord fight suddenly disappeared, replaced by endless worries. She returned to the room alone in despair, tossing and turning, unable to sleep. The rooms of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin were filled with holy white light, accompanied by an endless stream of exciting sounds. Chapter 44 I Love a Stick. Pope's Palace. In this way, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin are indeed just two wandering doctors. They not only offended the Haoshan sect, but also the Blue Lightning Tyrannosaurus Rex family. They also directly reject the Danger in front of many people. I am not willing to join our Wuhun Hall, but they asked Danger to take them to visit Wuhan City, and now they live in Danger's residence. After listening to the ghost's report, Jin Zunji, who was sitting on the Pope's seat, was more angry than shocked. Yes, the ghost nodded affirmatively. It seems that Long Xiaoyao is not only unwilling to be used by me, but also wants to kidnap my Danger, and Danger also likes Long Xiaoyao. Jin Zunji was so angry that he gritted his teeth and clenched his fists. He was very angry now. Jin Zunji knew that Bibi Dong had probably fallen in love with Long Xiaoyao. Otherwise, why would Bibi Dong be uncharacteristic and not only willing to be a guide for Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin, but also let Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin live in her residence? If that's the case, don't blame me for being rude. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji showed an evil smile. Prepare to implement a plan to kidnap Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Chihiroji gave the order to the ghost. Yes, the ghost replied, and then disappeared directly into the Pope's palace. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji took out a small pink bottle. He looked at the small bottle and showed an evil smile. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, just be prepared to play your final role. Danger, I've raised you for so long, it's time for you to repay me. Ha ha ha, boom boom boom. The next morning, just after Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin finished washing, there were knocks on the door. Come in, Long Xiaoyao said. Squeak. The door was pushed open and a maid came in. Mr. Long, Miss Ah Yin, the Pope has come down and said he wants to see you. He is waiting in the lobby with His Royal Highness the Saint. Can you come over now? The maid asked Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin Dao, why did Kyank Sunji come to see me and Ah Yin? Could it be that he had already investigated our identities and saw that Bibi Dong could not win over Ah Yin and me, so he personally came to win over Ah Yin and me? Or maybe Kyank Sunji came to me and Ah Yin for some other purpose. Long Xiaoyao immediately felt that Jin Zunji was here to win over him and Ah Yin, but he felt something was wrong. Because he knew that Jin Zunji must have known about the news that he rejected Bibi Dong's invitation to him and Ah Yin to join Wuhun Hall yesterday. Long Xiaoyao felt that Jin Zunji's purpose of coming to see him and Ah Yin was definitely not that simple. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and started thinking, but she didn't come up with a reason. Lead the way. Long Xiaoyao told the maid that since he couldn't think of why Jin Zunji came to him, he had no choice but to go see Jin Zunji. At this moment, Jin Zunji and Bibi Dong were sitting on chairs in the lobby. The table in front of them was filled with all kinds of delicacies, as well as a bottle of wine. We haven't seen each other for almost 2 years. Danger is getting more and more beautiful. Jin Zunji looked at Bibi Dong and showed a fatherly smile. And it only took you less than 2 years to return from the killing city and mastered the god of killing domain. It's really amazing. I am proud to accept you as my disciple. Come on, Danger, before Mr. Long and Miss Yin come. We master and apprentice will have a drink first to help you celebrate. In the lobby, Jin Zunji raised his wine glass and said to Bibi Dong with a smile. It is good. At this moment, Bibi Dong was still worried about the battle between Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Without thinking much, he picked up the wine glass in front of him, hoping to drink away his worries. Zhang. Bibi Dong and Jin Zunji clinked their wine glasses. Gollum. Then Bibi Dong drank it all in one gulp. When Jin Zunji saw Bibi Dong drinking the wine directly from the glass, the corners of his mouth raised slightly, showing an evil smile, and he drank the wine in one gulp. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin came to the lobby under the leadership of the maid. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, you are here. Seeing Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin walking over, Bibi Dong put down his wine glass and stood up. Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin both nodded towards Bibi Dong. This Ah Yin is really as beautiful as Danger. Jin Zunji saw Ah Yin's beautiful face and found that it was indeed as Yu Guan said, on par with Bibi Dong, and his eyes suddenly lit up. But it only took a moment. Jin Zunji quickly regained his kind and majestic appearance and stood up. Let me introduce to you, this is my teacher, His Majesty the Pope of Wuhun Palace. Bibi Dong introduced Kaiangsen Jidao to Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. Teacher, this is Long Xiaoyao, and this is Ah Yin. Immediately afterwards, Bibi Dong introduced Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin Dao to Jin Zunji. His Majesty the Pope. What a great name I have admired for a long time. I have long heard that His Majesty the Pope is very handsome and heroic. When I see him today, he is indeed well deserved, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, while he was thinking about how to make Jin Zunji, a guy with a human face and a beast's heart, show his true colors and let Bibi Dong see Jin Zunji's true face. Because there was very little description of Jin Zunji in the original work, Long Xiaoyao didn't know what kind of character Jin Zunji was. So Long Xiaoyao planned to talk to Jin Zunji first to understand what kind of person Jin Zunji was, and then think about how to expose Jin Zunji's true identity. Ha, Mr. Long, you are so proud. You are very handsome too, and you are still young, so you will definitely become more handsome in the future, Jin Zunji laughed and replied. He thought Long Xiaoyao was sincerely praising him. He smiled very proudly and praised Long Xiaoyao before going back. I wonder why the Pope came down to see me. Long Xiaoyao smiled and asked Kaiangsen Ji. Mr. Long, Miss Yin, please sit down first, Kaiangsen Ji said with a smile, and the four of them sat down one after another. I'm here today. Firstly, I'm here to have breakfast with my good disciple, whom I haven't seen for a long time. Secondly, I'm here to express my gratitude to Mr. Long. I heard that if it weren't for Mr. Long, Danger wouldn't have been able to control the god of death realm at will so quickly, and it's very likely that he would have been controlled by the out-of-control god of death realm and turned into a killing machine. Also, if it weren't for Mr. Long, Yu Xiaogang's true colors would not be exposed. Danger would probably still be kept in the dark by Yu Xiaogang. After sitting down, Kaiangsen Ji smiled and said to Long Xiaoyao. Danger, pour some wine for young Master Long and Miss Yin. We want to toast them to express our gratitude to young Master Long. Kaiangsen Ji first said to Bibi Dong. Yes, Bibi Dong picked up the wine glass and started pouring wine for Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin. This wine actually contains I love a stick. Long Xiaoyao looked at the wine that Bibi Dong poured, and used his insightful eyes to see that there was I love a stick in it, and he was very surprised. Long Xiaoyao knew that after I love a stick is dissolved in wine or water, it becomes colorless and tasteless, and even a titled Douluo cannot detect it. Regardless of whether they are men or women, after drinking it, they will soon be unable to use their soul power, their bodies will be weak, and they will be unable to make any resistance. After the drug takes full effect, you will lose your mind, want to do things between men and women, and will act uncontrollably. Because I love a stick is so unethical, it is a banned drug on the market. I love a stick? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong both had question marks on their faces when they heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts. They were naive and had never heard of I love a stick, and when they heard the name, they had no idea what it was, but their intuition told them that it was definitely not a good thing. They looked at the wine in the glass and found nothing unusual. They thought it was just ordinary wine. Sure enough, I love a stick is spreading in Bibi Dong's body, and Jin Zunji had already taken the antidote in advance. Bibi Dong has probably never even heard of I love a stick. It seems that Jin Zunji definitely planted it in the wine. It's really despicable and shameless remembering that he just saw Bibi Dong drinking with Jin Zunji. Long Xiaoyao used his insightful eyes to discover that I love a stick was spreading in Bibi Dong's body, while the I love a stick in Jin Zunji's body was disappearing. He was sure that Chihiro-ji was writing I love a stick inside. What exactly is I love a stick? Why did Chihiro-ji, teacher, put I love a stick in the wine? Hearing Long Xiaoyao's thoughts, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong became even more curious. Ah Yin was a little worried about Bibi Dong, while Bibi Dong was a little worried about herself. Chapter 45 Despicable and Shameless Seeking Illness. First he made Bibi Dong drink wine mixed with I love a stick, and now he wanted me and Ah Yin to drink it. It seems that Jin Zunji not only wanted to rape Bibi Dong, but also wanted to rape Ah Yin. You even want to rape me? Long Xiaoyao didn't know whether Kang Sunji liked men. He thought it was very possible. Otherwise, why would Kang Sunji let him and Ah Yin drink wine mixed with I love a stick? Could it be that I love a stick is a CH drug? After hearing Long Xiaoyao's words of tiger and wolf, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong guessed what I love a stick was even though they had never seen CH medicine. Although their appearance is as calm as still water, their hearts are already turbulent and they cannot calm down. Especially Bibi Dong, she really couldn't believe that her most beloved Jin Zunji actually wanted to give her I love a stick, and also gave Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin I love a stick. It seems that this Kang Sunji is indeed a beast with a human face and a beast's heart, but now that you have met me, you can only be considered unlucky. Just wait for me to tear off your false mask. Long Xiaoyao smiled. He knew that this time he didn't need to anger Jin Zunji like he did before to expose Yu Xiao Gang. With a little guidance, Jin Zunji would reveal his true face. Ah Yin heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and planned to pretend to know nothing, cooperate with Long Xiaoyao's actions, and together they took off Jin Zunji's false mask and showed it to Bibi Dong. Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's thoughts and planned to pretend she didn't know anything. She saw how Long Xiaoyao took off Kang Sunji's false mask and saw whether Kang Sunji was really a beast with a human face and a beast's heart, so she continued to she and Jin Zunji poured the wine. Mr. Long, Miss Yin, this is the wine that I have treasured for more than 10 years. There are only 5 bottles in total. In order to thank you for your help to Danger, I specially brought out a bottle. You must have a good taste. Come, I respect you, Chihiro-ji said with a smile, then raised his glass. Jin Zunji still doesn't know about Long Xiaoyao at all, but Yin and Bibi Dong already know that he put I love a stick in the wine. Really? Then I'm going to have a good taste, Long Xiaoyao said with a smile, and then directly picked up the wine glass. Upon seeing this, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong pretended not to know anything and picked up their wine glasses. Dry, Garlim. Long Xiaoyao drank the wine in the glass directly. Garlim. Seeing this, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong also drank. They believed that since Long Xiaoyao knew that there was I love a stick mixed in the wine but did not tell them and let them drink it, they believed that Long Xiaoyao would definitely have a way to help them get rid of the I love a stick they drank. A stick. Garlim. When Kang Sunji saw Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin, and Bibi Dong, he drank it without thinking. The corners of his mouth raised slightly, and he drank it all in one gulp. Ah! Good wine. After taking a sip, Long Xiaoyao praised it without hesitation because it was indeed a good wine. Yet, it tastes really good. Ah Yin also praised him. As long as you like it, Danger, Mr. Long, Miss Yin, hurry up and eat the food. I specially asked someone to prepare this, Chihiro-ji said with a smile. It is good. Long Xiaoyao was not polite at all. He knew that Jin Zunji would not be anxious at all if he waited for the medicine to take effect. Come on, Ah Yin, let's eat a piece of fish. Long Xiaoyao first added a piece of fish meat to Yin. Ah Yin showed a happy smile and started eating directly. Bibi Dong on the side looked at Ah Yin and felt very envious. Come, Bibi Dong, eat a piece of fish. Long Xiaoyao took another piece of fish for Bibi Dong. First of all, he had already determined that Bibi Dong was his woman, and she had to get both rain and dew. Secondly, it is also to stimulate Jin Zunji and make Jin Zunji lose his composure, so that he can reveal his true face quickly. Feeling Long Xiaoyao's concern, Bibi Dong also showed a happy smile, and directly picked up the fish pieces and started eating. Jin Zunji watched from the side, feeling very angry and clenching his teeth in anger. However, Kang Sunji did not break out. He waited for the medicine to take effect. He felt that as long as the medicine took effect, Bibi Dong and Ah Yin would become his playthings, and he did not need to rush. I'm so mad at you. Noticing the subtle changes in Jin Zhenji's expression, Long Xiaoyao felt very comfortable, and then he picked up a piece of fish and ate it. After hearing Long Xiaoyao's voice, they found that Long Xiaoyao was not anxious at all. They believed that Long Xiaoyao had definitely figured out a way to remove the I love a stick from their bodies, so they cooperated more with Long Xiaoyao's Jin Zhenji. 3 minutes passed quickly. Ugh, Bibi Dong was the first to make a blood-boiling sound and lean weakly on the table. She felt weak all over, dizzy, and her blood was boiling. Her pretty face quickly turned red. What's going on? Why do I feel dizzy? Feeling weak, Bibi Dong pretended not to know anything and said to herself. Ugh. Immediately afterwards, Ah Yin also made a blood-boiling sound and leaned weakly on the table. She also felt weak, dizzy, and her blood was boiling, and her pretty face quickly turned red. I also feel dizzy, dazzled. Feeling weak, Ah Yin also pretended not to know anything and asked to himself. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao pretended to be weak and leaned on the table. Could this feeling be drug? Did you put drugs in the food and wine? Long Xiaoyao pretended to be weak and asked Kaiangson Jiji with difficulty. Clap. As expected of a doctor, he immediately guessed that I had spiked the wine with drug. Chiharaji clapped his hands and showed a mocking smile. But now I know it's too late. You have already drank I love a stick, and now it has begun to take effect. You are now unable to mobilize your soul power and cannot move. After the drug takes full effect, you will be like wild beasts in heat, desperately trying to do things between men and women. Ha. Jin Zhenji explained specifically, and then laughed. When Ah Yin and Bibi Dong heard Jin Zhenji's words, they felt the changes in their bodies and felt a little scared. They didn't want to become like that. However, they believed that Long Xiaoyao would definitely find a way to save them, otherwise Long Xiaoyao would not have watched them drink it just now. Why are you doing this? Is it because Ah Yin and I refused to join the spirit hall? Long Xiaoyao pretended to try his best and questioned Kaiangson Jidao. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong also looked at Jin Zhenji. They knew that Long Xiaoyao was trying to show Jin Zhenji's true face. Yes, since you are not willing to be used by me, then I have to let your child be used by me, and let your woman become my woman. Jin Zhenji looked at Ah Yin and showed an evil smile. Let my child be used by you. After hearing Jin Zhenji's words, Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong all had question marks on their faces, because Long Xiaoyao didn't have any children yet. Could it be that you asked me to drink I love a stick so that I could fight with women and leave descendants who can inherit my martial spirit, and then use it for you? Long Xiaoyao asked guessingly. You're smart, Kaiangson Ji smiled and nodded. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were all shocked when they heard Jin Zhenji's words. They didn't expect Jin Zhenji to be so vicious. What about Bibi Dong? Why did you let Bibi Dong drink I love a stick too? Do you still want to rape her? She is your apprentice. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao asked again, pretending to try his best. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong also looked at Jin Zhenji. How can you say that I want to rape Donger? Since I took her to the orphanage, I have raised her for so long and allowed her to have her current identity, status and strength, as well as a beautiful face and sexy figure. It's time for her to repay me. Isn't it? Only I, the Pope of Wuhun Palace, can be worthy of Donger. You, Long Xiaoyao, are not worthy at all. Jin Zhenji looked at Bibi Dong and showed an evil smile, smiling very proudly. When Bibi Dong heard Jin Zhenji's words, she felt extremely disappointed and heartbroken. She did not expect that she would regard Jin Zhenji as her teacher, but Jin Zhenji would always be thinking about her body. Ah Yin was a little worried about Bibi Dong when she heard Jin Zhenji's words. She was worried that Bibi Dong would be deeply hurt by this fact. You are really despicable and shameless to be able to speak so high-sounding. Long Xiaoyao was extremely angry with Jin Zhenji and already wanted to take action against Jin Zhenji, but he recalled the details in Jin Zhenji's words and made a bold guess. The orphanage where you took Bibi Dong to, could it be that you killed Bibi Dong's parents? The reason is that Bibi Dong's parents don't want to be used by you. Long Xiaoyao questioned Kaiangson Jidao. Chapter 46 The Truth of the Matter, Desperate Bibi Dong? Long Xiaoyao felt that his guess was probably true. Because he knew that in Douluo continent, except for him, everyone's martial soul was inherited from one of their parents, and twin martial souls were inherited from both parents. Bibi Dong happens to be a twin martial soul, And Bibi Dong's talent is the best in history, even surpassing Tang San's in the original work. If Tang San hadn't cheated, if Bibi Dong hadn't saved Jin Ringsu, how would Bibi Dong have been killed by Tang San? Bibi Dong is so talented, will her parents be ordinary soul masters? The answer is definitely no. Bibi Dong's parents must also be two very powerful soul masters. Therefore, Long Xiaoyao felt that his guess was probably correct. What? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were extremely shocked when they heard Long Xiaoyao's question, but after thinking about it carefully, they found that Long Xiaoyao's guess was not unreasonable, or very reasonable, and they felt that it was very possible. Kyank Sunji, what Long Xiaoyao said is true. Is it true? Bibi Dong gritted her teeth, stared at Jin Sunji fiercely, and asked extremely excitedly. At this moment, Bibi Dong had determined that Jin Sunji was a beast in disguise who wanted to rape her. It is more likely that he is the enemy who killed her parents. She no longer had any respect for Jin Sunji in her heart, so she called Jin Sunji's name for the first time, with endless anger and murderous intent. Ever since Bibi Dong could remember, she had been in the orphanage of Wuhun Palace. She didn't know who her parents were, and no one knew who her parents were. Until Bibi Dong knew that martial spirits were inherited from her parents, and that twin martial spirits were inherited from both parents, she felt that her parents were definitely two powerful soul masters. So Bibi Dong has been looking for news about her parents. After she became the saint of Wuhun Palace, she once searched for the soul master who owned the Death Spider Emperor and the soul-eating Spider Emperor in the information department of the Spirit Palace material. But she didn't find any soul master with these two martial souls. Bibi Dong has always found it strange, because Wuhun Palace has collected information on all soul masters in the continent, so logically it should be possible to find them. Now Bibi Dong has figured it out, that is, Long Xiaoyao's guess is correct, and the information about her parents has definitely been destroyed by Jin Sunji. Or maybe Jin Sunji hid in advance after she became the saint of Wuhun Palace. The purpose is to prevent her from discovering the truth and continue to be used by Jin Sunji. Now Bibi Dong wants Jin Sunji's answer to be yes. In this case, she has finally found her enemy who killed her parents and can avenge her parents. Bibi Dong didn't want Jin Sunji to answer yes, because she couldn't accept that Jin Sunji, whom she had always respected the most, was her enemy who killed her parents. In that case, wouldn't she have been recognizing the thief as her father? Clap clap clap. You are really smart. You have guessed all this. Jin Sunji clapped his hands first and showed great appreciation for Long Xiaoyao. It's a pity that you don't want to be used by me. Otherwise, I would be more powerful than a tiger, and I would be able to speed up the pace of unifying Douluo continent, but it doesn't matter. I believe your child will be as smart as you. I will let him help me, ha ha ha. Immediately afterwards, Jin Sunji laughed, looking like a winner. Jin Sunji felt that it no longer mattered that Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong knew the truth of the matter, because Long Xiaoyao and the others had already drank I Love a Stick and now they could not resist him at all. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were so beautiful and sexy that Jin Sunji planned to make them his women and let them bear children for him. He planned to let Long Xiaoyao and the woman he prepared do the same thing as a man and a woman, and give birth to a child with great talent for him to use. I am going to kill you, Bibi Dong said angrily, her voice became hoarse. She now very much wanted to kill Jin Sunji directly. But now that the I Love a Stick drug was taking effect, she couldn't mobilize her soul power at all, and she didn't even have the strength to stand up from the table. Bibi Dong could only stare at Jin Sunji tightly, gritting her teeth in anger, causing her gums to bleed from the corners of her mouth. Her eyes were glistening with tears, and tears of sadness, anger and helplessness flowed from the corners of her eyes. Bibi Dong never expected that Jin Sunji, whom she had always respected the most, was actually her enemy who killed her parents. And she actually always called Jin Sunji, the enemy who killed her parents, as her teacher, and even regarded Jin Sunji as her father. She hates herself very much now. You are simply not human. Ah Yin said angrily that she never expected that Jin Sunji could do such a heartless thing. She is very worried about Bibi Dong now. She knows that the most angry, painful and helpless person right now is Bibi Dong. I really didn't expect it. You are so inferior to a beast. I even underestimated you, Long Xiaoyao also said angrily. At first, he just thought Jin Sunji was a scumbag, but he never thought that Jin Sunji could do such a beastly thing. He was even more hateful than Yu Xiaogang. Now he wants to kill this guy directly. Scumbag. Those who achieve great things don't stick to small details, I do this to strengthen the power of Wuhun Palace, so as to unify Douluo continent, completely eliminate the war, and give everyone a peaceful Douluo continent, Kyank Sunji said righteously. Fart, you are obviously just doing it for your own selfish desires, Long Xiaoyao couldn't help but curse. Be angry. The angrier you are, the more excited I am. The smile on Jin Zunji's face became even more proud. You two are going to be my women in a moment. Jin Zunji looked at Bibi Dong and Ah Yin with an evil smile. And you, I want you to watch me play with your woman first, and then make you a tool to help me give birth to a child, and let you know the consequences of not surrendering to me. Ha ha ha. Jin Zunji looked at Long Xiaoyao again and showed a proud smile. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji stood up. At this moment, the ghost suddenly appeared beside Jin Zunji quietly. Ghost, please break Long Xiaoyao's limbs first, let him enjoy my play with Danger and Ah Yin, and then take him to do errands. Chihiro-ji smiled and said to the ghost. Yes, the ghost nodded, and then slowly walked towards Long Xiaoyao. Bah! Don't call me Danger. You don't deserve it, I must kill you with my own hands, Bibi Dong screamed at Jin Zunji desperately, with endless killing intent in her eyes. She only wanted to kill Jin Zunji now. If she hadn't been unable to mobilize her soul power and couldn't move, she would have rushed up to follow Jin Zunji. Zunji worked hard. In that case, let's start with you, Danger, don't worry, I will make you happy. Jin Zunji rubbed his hands, showed an evil smile, and extended his hand to Bibi Dong. Don't come here. Don't touch me, Bibi Dong screamed at Jin Zunji. She felt deeply desperate. Not only was she unable to avenge her parents, but she was about to be raped by Jin Zunji. At the same time, Guime had also arrived behind Long Xiaoyao and stretched out his hand towards Long Xiaoyao. Seeing this scene, Ah Yin felt extremely nervous and worried, but there was nothing she could do about it. Boom. What? At this moment, Long Xiaoyao took action. He first punched the ghost with all his strength in the abdomen, knocking the ghost away, and the ghost screamed in pain. When Long Xiaoyao drank the wine from the wine glass just now, he used the passive soul skill of the sixth soul ring, Swallow All Things, to swallow up all the I Love a Stick. In other words, Long Xiaoyao, who has the passive skill of Swallow All Things, is basically invulnerable to all poisons, unless he encounters something that even a glutton cannot swallow. So Long Xiaoyao didn't hate the I Love a Stick at all. He was always acting just to show Jin Zunji's true colors. The ghost thought that the I Love a Stick medicine in Long Xiaoyao's body had taken effect and that he could no longer mobilize his soul power and could not move. However, he never thought that Long Xiaoyao had not hit the I Love a Stick at all. Defense, so it was directly knocked away. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao jumped up and rushed towards Jin Zunji quickly. Chapter 47 is this detoxification. What? Jin Zunji saw Long Xiaoyao suddenly knocking the ghost away. When he saw Long Xiaoyao rushing in front of him, he felt extremely shocked and confused. He had obviously seen Long Xiaoyao drink the wine mixed with I Love a Stick. He had clearly seen that the I Love a Stick in Long Xiaoyao's body had begun to work. He couldn't understand why Long Xiaoyao could still move. He was not defenseless at all, and Long Xiaoyao was so fast that he had no time to dodge or defend himself. Boom. What? When Jin Zunji's hand was about to touch Bibi Dong, Long Xiaoyao kicked Jin Zunji's nose directly, denting Jin Zunji's nose, and kicked Jin Zunji directly. Flying away, Jin Zunji couldn't help but scream in pain. Boom, boom. Dang dang. Puff, Guime and Jin Zunji hit the wall heavily one after another, smashing the wall directly and spitting out a large mouthful of blood. What? Ghost clutched his stomach and felt so much pain that he couldn't even stand up for a while. Jin Zunji covered her nose and felt extremely painful. For a while, she couldn't even stand up. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong saw hope again when they saw that Long Xiaoyao was not only able to move, but also directly beat away ghosts and kicked Jin Zunji away. You, how can you still move? Didn't you also drink a glass of wine? Jin Zunji endured the pain and tried his best to ask Long Xiaoyao in a trembling voice. At this moment, Kyank Sunji was lying on the ground. His entire nose was collapsed, red and swollen, and it was full of blood. His eyes were so painful that he couldn't help but burst into tears. He looked no longer handsome or majestic at all. Bibi Dong, I'm here to help you detoxify. I'm offended. Long Xiaoyao ignored Jin Zunji, but turned to Bibi Dong and said apologetically. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao directly grasped Bibi Dong's jade arm and helped Bibi Dong up. Then, without waiting for Bibi Dong's reaction, Long Xiaoyao directly blocked Bibi Dong's pink cherry mouth and began to suck it. He used swallow all things to suck out the eye love stick in Bibi Dong's body and swallow it. Lose. Because Long Xiaoyao used the eye of insight to discover that the eye love stick in Ah Yin and Bibi Dong's bodies was almost fully functional. At that time, it will not be as simple as sucking it out and swallowing it, but it will have to be detoxified through a battle. Although Long Xiaoyao had already obtained Ah Yin's body and was coveting Bibi Dong's body, he didn't want to fight Ah Yin or get Bibi Dong's body through this method. And because Bibi Dong drank eye love stick before Ah Yin, the situation was more serious than Ah Yin, so he helped Bibi Dong detoxify first. Okay, Bibi Dong's eyes widened in shock. This was her first kiss. Coupled with the effect of eye love stick, Bibi Dong couldn't help but let out a passionate moan, and her jade hands began to dance uncontrollably. I don't know how to place it. Are you helping me detoxify? Bibi Dong wanted to question Long Xiaoyao at this moment, but her mouth was blocked by Long Xiaoyao, and she couldn't speak at all. Almost instantly, Bibi Dong's heart beat rapidly, like a running elk, and her pretty face turned completely red, like a ripe strawberry, making people salivate. After a while, due to the effect of eye love stick, Bibi Dong couldn't help but hug Long Xiaoyao and couldn't help but kiss Long Xiaoyao. Soon, Bibi Dong discovered that the eye love stick in her body was indeed being sucked out by Long Xiaoyao, and she was sure that Long Xiaoyao was helping her detoxify. Moreover, Bibi Dong found that kissing Long Xiaoyao was very comfortable, so she took the initiative to kiss Long Xiaoyao. Why should we help Bibi Dong detoxify first? Ah Yin watched Long Xiaoyao kiss Bibi Dong. Although she knew that Long Xiaoyao was helping Bibi Dong detoxify, she didn't know what the consequences would be after the drug took full effect, nor did she know the eye love one in Bibi Dong's body. The stick is almost fully functional. Ah Yin simply felt that she was Long Xiaoyao's woman now, and Bibi Dong was not Long Xiaoyao's woman yet. Moreover, she had also been hit by eye love stick. Shouldn't Long Xiaoyao save her first? So Ah Yin felt a little unhappy and jealous, but she didn't express it. Let danger go quickly, her first kiss is mine. Jin Zunji saw Long Xiaoyao and Bibi Dong kissing, felt extremely angry, and roared angrily. He wanted very much to rush over, kill Long Xiaoyao, and snatch Bibi Dong away. But Long Xiaoyao's kick was too powerful. He has not recovered yet. He can only mobilize his soul power and hurry up to recover from the injury. Gui Mei also hadn't recovered yet. While he was recovering quickly, he took out a flare and fired it directly into the sky boom. After a while, the signal bomb exploded into dazzling red fireworks. At this time, Long Xiaoyao let go of Bibi Dong's jade mouth. Bibi Dong felt Long Xiaoyao let go of her jade mouth. She felt a little unfinished, and she was surprised to find that she was a little reluctant to let go, and she had the urge to continue. But before Bibi Dong could take action, she was already gently placed on the chair by Long Xiaoyao. Okay, I've completely sucked the eye love stick out of your body. You'll be fine after you take a rest, don't worry, I will be responsible in the future. I'm going to help Ah Yin first, Long Xiaoyao told Bibi Dong, and he let go of Bibi Dong. When Bibi Dong heard Long Xiaoyao's words, she smiled happily and let go of Long Xiaoyao. Then Long Xiaoyao walked directly to Yin, held Ah Yin's jade arm, and helped Ah Yin up. Sorry to keep you waiting, Bibi Dong drank before you, and her condition is more serious than yours. Long Xiaoyao explained to Yin apologetically that although he was not a woman, he could guess that the first person Ah Yin saw when he saw him explaining I love a stick was Bibi Dong, and Ah Yin must have felt very unhappy taste. Then Long Xiaoyao stopped talking nonsense and directly kissed Ah Yin's pink jade mouth, and began to suck and devour the I love a stick inside Ah Yin's body. The reason why Ah Yin works because of the I love a stick in her body is because her heart is all about Long Xiaoyao, and after she understood why Long Xiaoyao wanted to help Bibi Dong first, she suddenly understood cheerful. Ah Yin directly hugged Long Xiaoyao, took the initiative to kiss and cooperated with Long Xiaoyao, and asked Long Xiaoyao to help her swallow the I love a stick in her body. Bibi Dong watched Long Xiaoyao help Ah Yin detoxify from the chair, and then realized that Ah Yin was already Long Xiaoyao's woman. Her heart was very complicated, and she immediately forgot about Jin Zunji lying on the ground. Jin Zunji watched Long Xiaoyao help Ah Yin detoxify. He envied Long Xiaoyao and hated Long Xiaoyao so much that he could only hurry up and recover from his injuries. After a while, Long Xiaoyao helped Ah Yin absorb all the I love stick in his body, and he let go of Ah Yin's jade mouth. Okay, you'll be fine if you take a rest first, Long Xiaoyao said to Ah Yin gently, and then gently put Ah Yin on the chair to rest. Long Xiaoyao, I'm going to kill you. At this time, Jin Zhenji, a level 95 titled Douluo, had regained his ability to move. He finally stood up and shouted angrily at Long Xiaoyao. In all these years, Jin Zhenji has never been kicked in the face, and he has never gotten what he wanted. He had not touched Bibi Dong before, just to wait for today. But just now, Long Xiaoyao took away Bibi Dong's first kiss that Jin Zhenji had always treasured. He is now extremely angry at Long Xiaoyao, and he wants to kill Long Xiaoyao himself. If you want to kill me, it depends on whether you have the ability. Long Xiaoyao looked at Jin Zhenji and said without fear, boom. Jin Zhenji directly exploded with all his momentum and activated his martial spirit. Buzz! Immediately afterwards, 9 soul rings, yellow, yellow, purple, purple, black, 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 and black, rose rapidly under Jin Zhenji's feet. Immediately afterwards, a phantom of a seraph martial spirit emitting golden light appeared behind Jin Zhenji. Chapter 48 Fighting Zhenji, showing strength. 7th Soul Skill, Angel Abadar. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zhenji directly used his 7th Soul Skill, boom. The phantom of the seraph martial spirit immediately became real, and it continued to grow in size. It was exuding a sacred and noble golden light. It looked so sacred that it even exploded the roof of the house. At the same time, the seraph martial spirit was still exuding powerful pressure, which overwhelmed Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and the ghost who had not yet recovered. Feeling the strong aura emanating from Kayangsen, Bibi Dong truly felt how powerful Kayangsenji was now, and realized that for her now, wanting to kill Kayangsenji with her own hands was simply a daydream. Kayangsenji, I will kill you with my own hands. However, the enemy who killed her parents that Bibi Dong had been looking for so long was right in front of her. She couldn't let her sit still and wait for death. She stood up desperately and wanted to fight Jin Zhenji desperately. But Bibi Dong has not fully recovered yet. She is still unable to use her soul power and is still a little weak. As soon as she stood up, she couldn't help but lean on the table to prevent herself from falling to the ground. Bibi Dong, you haven't recovered yet, just rest aside. Leave this scumbag to me. I will catch him in front of you and let you kill him with your own hands. Long Xiaoyao smiled and said to Bibi Dong. Seeing Bibi Dong's look, he could imagine how much Bibi Dong hated Jin Zhenji now. Ha ha ha. Don't be ashamed to say it. Do you think you can defeat me just because you were lucky enough to kill the great elder of the Haoshan sect? Idiot, talking about a dream. Let me show you how big the gap is between level 95 titled Douluo and Contra, the 5th soul skill, Angel Light Blade. Kayangsenji said with a smile and directly used the 6th soul skill. Immediately afterwards, 15 small golden lightsabers were released around Jin Zhenji and his angel true form, and then these 15 small golden lightsabers began to converge into a large golden lightsaber, exuding terrifying power. Then you have to let me take a good look at how big the gap is between you and me. Seeing Jin Zhenji already performing his 6th soul skill, Long Xiaoyao not only showed no fear at all, but instead showed a disdainful smile, boom. Long Xiaoyao also directly unleashed all his momentum and activated his martial spirit. Buzz! Then, at Long Xiaoyao's feet, red, 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 8 red soul rings quickly rose. Behind Long Xiaoyao, the very domineering Maoder martial spirit loomed, exuding a sacred aura and full of majesty. It was more sacred than Jin Zhenji's seraphim martial spirit. It was intimidating and could not help but feel sad. Respect. With the appearance of Long Xiaoyao Maoder's martial spirit, the pressure on Ah Yin and Bibi Dong suddenly disappeared. Long Xiaoyao noticed the flare fired by Gui Mei just now, and he knew that support from Wuhun Palace was already on the way. Although Long Xiaoyao is now invincible against title Douluo below level 96, this is still inside the Spirit Hall. And he knew that the fluctuations caused by his battle with Jin Zhenji would definitely cause those title Douluo, Super Douluo, and even Jin Daoliu, a peerless Douluo, to come over. So Long Xiaoyao used all his strength to quickly defeat Jin Zhenji, capture Jin Zhenji, let Bibi Dong take revenge, and then quickly left the Spirit Hall. What? 8 red soul rings. Bibi Dong, Jin Zunji and Ji Yuime looked at Long Xiaoyao's 8 red soul rings that rose rapidly, and felt the aura emanating from Long Xiaoyao's Maoder martial soul, which was even more powerful than Jin Zunji's seraphim martial soul. They were all shocked. Bibi Dong and Ji Yuime saw with their own eyes that Xiaoyao's soul ring configuration was obviously the best match, but now they saw that it suddenly turned into 8 red soul rings, and they were very puzzled. Although Ah Yin had long known that Long Xiaoyao was truly very powerful, she was still shocked when she saw Long Xiaoyao display his true strength. At this moment, a yellow robot suddenly flew out from the space ring in Long Xiaoyao's hand and landed in front of Long Xiaoyao. It was the robot form of Little Wasp. What is that? Including Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, Jin Zunji and Ji Yuime were all shocked when they saw the sudden appearance of the Little Hornet. Because none of them have ever seen Wasp in robot form. Little Hornet, the safety of Ah Yin and Bibi Dong will be left to you, Long Xiaoyao ordered to Little Hornet. Is this a Little Wasp? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were very shocked. They knew that the Little Hornet was a sports car and could switch to flight mode, but they did not expect that the Little Hornet could also transform into robot form. Yes, Master, a mechanical voice sounded. Then, Little Hornet immediately grabbed Ah Yin with one hand and Bibi Dong with the other hand, switching to the form of a sports car. Before Ah Yin and Bibi Dong could react, they had already sat firmly on the back seat of Little Hornet. Immediately afterwards, Little Hornet drove Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to the side. The 7th soul skill, the true form of Maodu, seeing that Ah Yin and Bibi Dong were already inside Little Hornet, Long Xiaoyao directly used his 7th soul skill. Immediately afterwards, the Maoder martial spirit behind him turned into extremely gorgeous Maoder armor, and was set on Long Xiaoyao's body one by one. Immediately afterwards, Long Xiaoyao stretched out his right hand, and in his hand, a bright red god-killing sword with blood-red mist appeared, exuding a terrifying aura of destruction. Now Long Xiaoyao looks a bit like an armored warrior wearing translucent armor, full of domineering strength. But it has a pair of dazzling wings and a long tail than the average armored warrior. Who exactly are you? Jin Zunji questioned Long Xiaoyao, saying that even if you were to kill him, he would not believe that Long Xiaoyao, who possessed the Maoder martial spirit that was superior to him, and the destruction god-killing sword that was superior to the clear sky hammer, could be an ordinary doctor. I am the one who wants your life. Long Xiaoyao was too lazy to talk nonsense to Jin Zunji. He waved his wings directly and rushed towards Jin Zunji. At the same time, Long Xiaoyao held the destruction god-killing sword with both hands and injected soul power into the destruction god-slaying knife. The blade then lit up, emitting a dazzling red light, and the red light was accompanied by a terrifying aura of destruction. At this time, Jin Zunji had gathered 15 golden holy swords into one huge golden holy sword. Ah Yin and Bibi Dong sat inside the Little Hornet and looked at Long Xiaoyao and Jin Zunji nervously. They were both a little worried about Long Xiaoyao. After all, there was such a level gap between Long Xiaoyao and Jin Zunji. They know that the gap between a level 95 title Douluo and a level 85 soul Douluo is vastly different from the gap between a level 85 soul Douluo and a level 75 soul Saint. But they all believe that Long Xiaoyao could defeat Jin Zunji. I want to see if you have that ability, Angel Light Blade, boom boom boom. Jin Zunji directly controlled the angel's true form, swung the huge golden holy sword, and slashed at Long Xiaoyao. The secret of the sword technique of destruction, annihilation. Long Xiaoyao's expression remained unchanged, his waist and horse united, and in conjunction with the power of flight, he concentrated all his power on his hands, and slashed at the golden holy sword that fell towards him with all his strength. Zhang. The swords collided, making a violent impact that was deafening. Although there is a huge gap between level 95 title Douluo and level 85 Contra. But for Long Xiaoyao, the gap between him and Jin Zunji, it should be said that the gap between Jin Zunji and him is huge. You must know that Long Xiaoyao's first martial soul is Maodu, and his second martial soul is the god-killing sword of destruction, and all 8 soul rings are automatically sacrificed to 10-year-old divine beasts, and Maodu's bloodline has been activated for a long time. The physical body is very strong. The reason why Long Xiaoyao was injured by Tang was because he didn't use his full strength because he didn't think it was necessary. Secondly, he did not expect that Tang would attack Ah Yin. In order to save Ah Yin, Long Xiaoyao had no time to launch a complete defense and was slightly injured. Moreover, The reason why Long Xiaoyao let Tang Hao and Tang Xiao go was because he wanted to see if Tang San would be born and reveal Tang San's false face in the future. Otherwise, how could Tang Hao and Tang Xiao escape from Long Xiaoyao's hands? Drop it? Now that Long Xiaoyao has basically used all his strength except not using the bloodline of Maodu to become a Maodu, and not using soul bones, how can Kaiang Sunji resist Long Xiaoyao? Click click. The two sides were in a stalemate for less than 3 seconds before Jin Zunji's golden holy sword was chopped into pieces by Long Xiaoyao's god-destroying god-killing sword. What? Jin Zunji looked at the broken golden holy sword and felt extremely shocked. If you are listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means it was downloaded and re-uploaded without effort. We warmly invite you to visit our channel, Fanfic World. There you will find the original version of this story and many other novels of various genres. We look forward to seeing you dive into a world of incredible novels. Chapter 49 Under Siege, in Dire Straits? Boom. Immediately afterwards, the angel's light blade exploded, creating a powerful energy shock wave that blew away the tables, chairs, and broken walls in the lobby. How is this possible? Jin Zunji felt very unbelievable. He had thought that Long Xiaoyao might be evenly matched with him, but he never expected that Long Xiaoyao was so much stronger than him. His angel light blade couldn't even last 3 seconds. Long Xiaoyao is actually so powerful. Ah Yin, Bibi Dong and Yuena, who had been watching, were all shocked when they saw this scene. Especially Yuena, he is a title Douluo, and he clearly knows that after reaching the title Douluo level, there will be a big gap for every level difference. As for Jin Zunji's strength, he knew how powerful it was, and it was definitely not comparable to the great elder of the Haoshan sect. But now Long Xiaoyao, at level 85, chopped Jin Zunji's angel light blade into pieces with one blow. If you don't see it with your own eyes, even if you beat the ghost to death, the ghost will not believe this fact. Long Xiaoyao didn't give Jin Zunji any chance to breathe. He directly held the god-killing blade of destruction and waved the wings on his back and rushed towards Jin Zunji. The sixth soul skill, Angel Protection. Jin Zunji immediately used his sixth soul skill. He stretched out his hands, and the Seraph Martial Soul Avatar also stretched out his hands. Immediately afterwards, a golden protective shield appeared, covering the entire Seraph Martial Soul Avatar. Annihilation, Zhang. Long Xiaoyao slashed at the golden protective shield with all his strength. Click click. The golden protective shield also couldn't last more than 3 seconds before it was chopped into pieces by Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao continued to hold the destruction god-killing sword and slashed at Jin Zunji. Jin Zunji immediately controlled the Seraph Martial Soul Avatar and crossed his hands, trying to resist Long Xiaoyao's attack. Zhang, the god-killing sword of destruction struck directly on the hands of the Seraphim Martial Spirit, making a violent sound. Drink. Jin Zunji used all his strength and mobilized all his soul power to resist Long Xiaoyao's annihilation with all his strength. Click click. However, in less than 3 seconds, Long Xiaoyao directly chopped off the hands of the Seraph Martial Spirit. Without giving Jin Zunji a chance to breathe, Long Xiaoyao directly slashed at Jin Zunji, who was under the Seraphim Spirit. Zhang. Boom. Long Xiaoyao directly chopped the entire Seraphim Spirit into pieces, causing a huge explosion and making a huge noise, which made the sky and the earth tremble. Puff. However, in order for Bibi Dong to take Jin Zunji's life with his own hands, Long Xiaoyao did not directly chop Jin Zunji to death with one knife. Instead, he slashed Jin Zunji's right hand with one knife, directly cutting Jin Zunji's right hand into ashes. What? Puff. Jin Zunji couldn't help but scream in pain and spit out a large mouthful of blood. Whoosh. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji flew backwards, blood spurting out from his severed right arm. Boom. Jin Zunji directly smashed the wall of Bibi Dong's residence. Boom. Immediately afterwards, Jin Zunji hit the ground hard, creating a large crater. He lay in the pit in a panic, like a dead dog, unable to move or speak. While witnessing everything, Ah Yin, Bibi Dong, and Yuena were all shocked and speechless when they saw this scene. Your Majesty the Pope. At this time, when they saw the red signal flare, a large number of soul masters from Wuhun Palace who had just arrived saw Kaiang Sunji flying out and hitting the ground. They immediately came to Kaiang Sunji's side and protected Kaiang Sunji stand up. Several people quickly went down to the pit, helped Jin Zunji up, and treated Jin Zunji's injuries. Others were staring at Long Xiaoyao warily. Among these soul masters who came, 4 were titled Douluo, including Yuguan. I actually have 8 10-year-old red soul rings. They looked at Long Xiaoyao in Maoto's true form and the 8 red soul rings surrounding Long Xiaoyao. They were also shocked that their jaws almost dropped to the ground. They clearly know how rare a 10-year-old soul ring is. Now no one in the entire Wuhun Palace has one. Even in the entire Soul Master world, it is difficult to find someone who has one. And Long Xiaoyao's soul rings were all 10-year-old red soul rings. At this moment, Ghost, who finally recovered, immediately rushed towards Little Hornet, intending to catch Ah Yin and Bibi Dong, and wanted to use Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to threaten Long Xiaoyao and force Long Xiaoyao to submit. But Little Wasp is not an ordinary robot. It is not only equipped with 360-degree camera eyes with no blind spots, but also equipped with soul sensors. It has long been aware of the Ghost's actions. Whoosh! When the Ghost rushed towards the Little Hornet immediately switched to flight mode and directly carried Ah Yin and Bibi Dong into the sky, directly throwing away the Ghost. Long Xiaoyao, who are you? Why do you have 8 10-year-old red soul rings? Why do you want to hurt His Majesty the Pope? Yu Guan raised her orchid finger, pointed at Long Xiaoyao and asked. Who dares to act wild in my Wuhan Palace? How dare you hurt my child? Court death. As soon as Yu Guan finished speaking, before Long Xiaoyao had time to reply, a vicissitudes of life, loud and extremely angry voice came from the Elder Hall. Master, we have detected that 7 Super Douluo above level 96 are coming. You are not your opponent yet. I suggest you retreat first. Little Hornet came to Long Xiaoyao's side and reported to Long Xiaoyao. No. It's the 7 great worshippers of the Elder Hall. They are all Super Douluo above level 96, and that voice just now is from the Great Enshrinement, the Peerless Douluo of level 99, Jin Daoliu. He is the father of Jin Zunji, who is known as the Invincible in the sky. Long Xiaoyao, let's leave quickly. If we are late, it will be too late. As soon as Little Hornet finished speaking, Bibi Dong immediately reminded Long Xiaoyao. Although Bibi Dong wanted to kill Jin Zunji with her own hands right now to avenge her dead parents. But she knew that since the reinforcements from the Wuhan Palace had arrived, and the 7 worshippers from the Elder Palace had also arrived, even if Long Xiaoyao was getting stronger, it would be impossible for her to catch Jin Zunji now and let her kill Kaiangson with her own hands. Disease. She knew that if she wanted to escape, she had to do it now, otherwise when Jin Daoliu arrived, they would not be able to leave even if they wanted to. By then, Long Xiaoyao would only have a dead end, and her and Ah Yin's fate would definitely be extremely miserable. Revenge can be taken later. But now Bibi Dong is more worried about the safety of Long Xiaoyao and Ah Yin than taking revenge. Okay, Long Xiaoyao nodded. He knew that he was definitely no match for Jin Daoliu now. He might not even be able to defeat the worshippers of the Elder Hall. If he continued to stay here, it would be a dead end. There is no need to worry about having no firewood to burn Kingshan, since Bibi Dong has been rescued anyway, and it will not be too late to kill Jin Zunji in the future. Little Hornet, take Ah Yin and Bibi Dong to retreat first, Long Xiaoyao ordered to Little Hornet. Whoosh! As soon as Long Xiaoyao finished speaking, the Little Hornet immediately rushed high into the sky. Wait a minute. Little Wasp, Long Xiaoyao hasn't gotten in the car yet, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong shouted anxiously. But the Little Hornet had no intention of stopping, and was still accelerating. Want to run? No way. The 7th soul skill, the real body of the martial soul, the 7th soul skill, Ghost Avatar, the 9th soul skill, the chrysanthemum is broken, the ground is full of injuries, and the flower is heartbroken. 9th soul skill, Infinite Ghost Shadow Devour, the 8th soul skill. The soul masters above the soul saints of the Wuhan Palace immediately used their Wuhan Avatar and launched long-range attack soul skills, hoping to keep Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong. Although they were inside the Wuhan Palace, Long Xiaoyao severely injured Kaiangson, cut off Kaiangsun's right arm, and made Long Xiaoyao and the others run away. If word of this spread, Wuhan the Soul Palace would be a disgrace. Suddenly, countless dazzling soul skills were formed in an instant, and they all attacked Long Xiaoyao on the flying Little Hornet, but most of the soul skills attacked Long Xiaoyao. Long Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong on the Little Hornet saw countless soul skills attacking Long Xiaoyao, and they were extremely worried about Long Xiaoyao's safety, and wanted to rush out and fight alongside Long Xiaoyao. But the effect of I Love a Stick has not completely disappeared, and they are still unable to mobilize their soul power. Moreover, Little Wasp used the seatbelt to lock them tightly in the back seat, and they could only watch helplessly. Chapter 50. Leaving Wuhun Hall, Douluo was furious. The third soul skill, the dazzling golden shield, looking at the various soul skills coming at him, Xiaoyao calmly put away the destruction god-killing sword, mobilized his soul power, and used his third soul skill boom. Huge soul power burst out from Xiaoyao's body and quickly condensed into a huge, turtle shell-shaped shield that was 60 meters in diameter and emitted dazzling golden light. Bang bang bang, various soul skills directly bombarded the golden shield, causing huge explosions one after another, making the ground tremble. Waves of smoke and fire were produced, blocking the golden shield including Xiaoyao. And the little hornet relied on its fast speed to dodge all the soul skills that attacked it, and continued to fly high into the sky. Xiaoyao, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at the expanding smoke and the explosions that kept coming from the smoke. They were very worried about Xiaoyao's safety, but they could only watch nervously inside the little hornet, silently praying that Xiaoyao could find. After a while, the explosion suddenly stopped, and the attack of the Soul Masters of Wuhun Hall ended. They did not continue to launch soul skills to attack Xiaoyao, because they felt that so many soul skills were enough to kill Xiaoyao. Xiaoyao, however, before the smoke and dust dispersed, Xiaoyao was seen waving the wings on his back and flying quickly into the sky. All the Soul Masters in Wuhun Hall were extremely shocked and full of confusion. They didn't understand why Xiaoyao was so agitated. No injuries. The dazzling golden shield that Xiaoyao just used was a complete dazzling golden shield. Even though all the Soul Masters in Wuhun Palace launched attacks at the same time, including attacks from 5 titled Douluo, they still could not break Xiaoyao's dazzling gold shield. Because Xiaoyao's complete dazzling gold shield can withstand the attacks of all Soul Masters below Super Douluo. Great, seeing that Xiaoyao was safe and sound, Ah Yin and Bibi Dong finally breathed a sigh of relief. At this time, Xiaoyao was putting his hands on his chest, and a purple right arm killing soul bone on his right forearm lit up. Between his hands, there was a purple ball of thunder and lightning, which contained terrifying energy and exuded a terrifying aura. Don't try to escape, come on, stop them. Gui Mei, Yu Guan and the others rushed towards Xiaoyao and Xiao Wang, trying to stop Xiaoyao and the others. After the attack just now, they knew that they could not defeat Xiaoyao. But Jin Douluo has already arrived. All they need to do is stop Xiaoyao and Xiao Wang and wait for Jin Douluo to arrive. They believe that Xiaoyao and the others will definitely be unable to escape. Before I leave, I want to give you a gift, Kirin. Xiaoyao stopped high in the sky, smiled, stretched out his right hand, and raised the purple thunder ball high. Rumble. Click click. Immediately afterwards, the purple lightning ball expanded rapidly and deformed, turning into a giant Kirin covered in purple lightning. It was very domineering and mighty, exuding terrifying power and intimidation. The sky suddenly became overcast and darkened. What is that? The Soul Masters in Wuhun Palace looked at the huge purple thunder unicorn in Xiaoyao's hand and felt the terrifying power it exuded. They were all extremely shocked and felt very bad. What is this? Ah Yin and Bibi Dong looked at the purple thunder and lightning unicorn below and felt the terrifying power it exuded, and they were both extremely shocked. Thunder meteor. Immediately afterwards, Xiaoyao waved his right hand downwards. Rumble. The purple thunder unicorn directly turned into a huge thunder, which hit the people in Wuhun Hall below. The 10-year level Qilin was voluntarily sacrificed, giving Xiaoyao a 10-year level soul ring, a 10-year level Qilin soul bone in his right arm, 2 active soul skills and 1 passive soul skill. One of the active soul skills is the hairy calf arm, which can greatly increase the strength and defense of the arm. The passive soul skill is purple lightning paralysis. There is also an active soul skill, which is the Qilin thunder meteor that Xiaoyao is currently using. It is a powerful long-range and large-scale attack soul skill that requires the use of the Qilin soul bone in his right arm. No, let's deploy the defense cover together. Seeing the thunder falling quickly, Yu Guan shouted loudly, and then immediately used a large amount of soul power. When the others saw this, they immediately used a large amount of soul power to form a huge defensive shield. But Xiaoyao didn't wait for Qilin Thunderfall to hit the defensive barrier built by everyone in Wuhun Hall, and turned around without looking back, waving the wings behind him and flying towards Little Hornet at high speed. Boom, Qilin Xingyan directly bombarded the defensive shield built by the Wuhun Hall people, directly sending everyone in the Wuhun Hall back to the ground, and cracks appeared in the defensive shield. Drink. Everyone in the Wuhun Hall suddenly felt the pressure, and they all tried their best to use up all their soul power to strengthen the defensive shield, trying to block Qilin Thunderfall. However, even if everyone in Wuhan Palace sacrifices all their soul power, it will only slow down the fall a little, and it is only a matter of time before they are defeated by Qilin Thunderfall. At this time, Long Xiaoyao had flown above Little Hornet, deactivated Maoto's true form, and entered Little Hornet's driving seat. Long Xiaoyao, if you have anything to say, we'll talk about it later. It's more important to leave now. Bibi Dong had too many questions that she wanted to ask Long Xiaoyao. Just when she opened her mouth to ask Long Xiaoyao something, she was interrupted by Long Xiaoyao. Then Long Xiaoyao directly switched the Little Hornet into full-speed flight mode, and then 4 more exhaust pipes appeared behind the Little Hornet, and 2 exhaust pipes also appeared behind the wings on both sides. Then Long Xiaoyao directly drove the Little Hornet, turned into a stream of light, and flew away at full speed without looking back. Because Long Xiaoyao had just finished using Qilin Thunderfall, he saw the 7 worshippers from the Elder Hall coming at full speed. If he didn't leave, it would be too late. Click click. What? No. I can't hold it anymore. The Soul Masters in Wuhun Palace looked at the continuously shattering defensive shield and knew that they were almost unable to withstand it. At this moment, the white-haired but energetic Qiandaoliu came here. Looking at Qilin Lian, who was about to break through the defense barrier of everyone in Wuhun Hall, his feet were yellow, purple, black, 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 black. Black's 9 soul rings rose rapidly. Immediately afterwards, behind Jindaoliu, a seraph martial spirit with a height of about 30 feet quickly condensed and took shape. It was 5 or 6 times larger than Jin's Unji's seraph martial spirit, but its strength was not. It's far more than 5 or 6 times stronger than Chihiraji. Great offering. When everyone in Wuhun Hall saw Jindaoliu coming, smiles suddenly appeared on their faces, knowing that they were saved. The first soul skill, Angel Assault. Jindaoliu directly used his first soul skill, Angel Assault. Immediately afterwards, the seraphim spirit behind Jindaoliu punched Qilin Lian directly. Boom, boom. Qilin Lian had just been hit by Jindaoliu's seraph spirit, and it exploded, creating a powerful shock wave that directly shattered the defensive shields of the spirit masters in the spirit hall. Jindaoliu immediately came to the front of the soul masters of Wuhun Hall and unfolded the defensive shield to resist the shock wave for them and Jin's Unji on the ground. After the shock wave dissipated, Jindaoliu immediately put away the seraphim spirit and rushed in front of Jin's Unji. Seeing Jin's Unji, who was seriously injured and unable to speak, he was extremely angry. He clenched his fists and raised his head on his head. There were even veins popping out, which saved the entire environment from being depressing. The soul masters stood aside, feeling the oppressive air, not even daring to breathe. Who injured my son? Jindaoliu asked coldly. The big offering is. The ghost stood up and explained what happened in a concise manner. The big worshipper, the person has already disappeared. We can't catch up. At this moment, 6 old men came to Jindaoliu, and the leader, Golden Crocodile Douluo, reported to Jindaoliu. Use all the manpower in Wuhan Palace to find traces of Long Xiaoyao, and then report to me. I will kill him with my own hands, Jindaoliu said angrily. End of this chapter. Thank you so much for reading until the end. Don't forget to give it a like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription or donation encourages us to continue. Thank you all. See you in the next video.